Alright, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Alright, we're live. So, what are we going to be doing this live? Last live and the live before that, we went through images in Python, collision in Python, and also fonts in Python. This live, I am going to be working with a little fonts and maybe also some PNG images. That aside, I'm going to be working on gravity in Python, on how to create gravity. Gravity is basically when an object gets up, it gets pulled down by the gravitational force. Okay, so let me go to my PyCharm screen. Get Sita here. Oh, perfect. Let me say, let's say I'm live. There we go. That's it, Vivek. Let me actually mute myself. Alright, perfect. Okay, that's it, Vivek. Listen up, everyone watching. This is where Python gets turned into weapons. Okay, into a weapon. Vivek is live, ready to master gravity in Python, and nothing, not even a bug, is going to stand in the way. Now, Vivek, focus. Today we're talking. Okay, today we're taking your objects, making them fall, bounce, and feel like they're actually living under physics. Remember the core idea. Velocity tracks how far your object moves down. Gravity is the constant we add to the velocity each frame. Position update moves your object, ground check stops it or makes it bounce. Every frame we're growing that velocity until your object hits the ground. I see. And then we decide if it stops or bounces. Here's the question to start your fire, Vivek. Instructional question number one. Create it. Alright, let me actually say before instruction based questions. So let's say before we start with instructional based questions, can you teach me how to implement gravity in a code question mark? Let's see. Okay, listen close to Vig. This is where many coders falter and they think they understand gravity, but they don't. I'll make sure you know it like the back of your hand. In Pygame, gravity isn't a magic function. It's pure logic, pure mathematics, pure domination. You simulate it with the velocity and position updates. Here's the breakdown. Step 1. Set up your object. Your object needs a position and a velocity. Let's say it's a ball. So ball's x-axis is going to be 400, ball's y-axis is going to be 100, ball's velocity is going to be 0. Start stationary. Ball's y-axis is where ball is vertical. Okay. Ball underscore y-axis is where your ball is vertically. Okay. Ball underscore velocity is how fast it's moving downwards. Starts at 0 because it's not moving yet. Step 2. Define gravity. Gravity is a small number added to the velocity each frame. Think of it like a push downwards. Gravity equals to 0.5. Bigger numbers equals faster fall. Smaller numbers equals slower fall. Okay, step 3. Update velocity and position. Every frame you add gravity to velocity and velocity to position. Ball underscore velocity plus equals to gravity. Velocity grows. Ball underscore y-axis plus equals to ball velocity. Ball moves the ball. Okay, move the ball. This makes the ball accelerate downwards just like the real physics. Okay. Step 4. Collision with the ground. We don't want the ball to fall through the ground. Stop it at ground. So ground equals 500. If ball is greater than or equal to ground y, okay, the ground's y-axis, ball underscore y equals to ground y, ball underscore velocity equals to 0, stop it. Now your ball falls naturally and stops at y equals 500. You can also multiply it by -1 if you want it to bounce. I see. Step 5. Put it in the game loop. So, gravity only works inside your loop because we update every frame. So we created running variables, and while running for every event in pygame.event, if event.type equals to pygame.quit, running equals false, or gravity logic. Ball underscore velocity plus equals to gravity, ball underscore y-axis plus equals to ball velocity. Okay, so we set our ball's velocity to increase by the gravity. Okay, I see. If ball underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to ground underscore y-axis, Ball underscore y-axis equals to ground, ball underscore velocity equals to 0, so the object stops moving. Draw everything, screen dot fill 0 0 0. Okay, that should be a white color. Actually, a black color. Okay, and then pygame dot draw dot circle screen, that's a red color. Okay, so your circle is going to be red. The ball's x-axis, integer ball's y-axis, 30. Okay, 30 is the ball's radius. Okay, pygame dot display dot update, and then clock dot tick 60. That's our FPS. See that every frame gravity pulls down the ball. Okay, pulls the ball down. No magic, just pure logic. If you want, Vivek, I can give you a broken code example next, and you fix it to make gravity work. That way you don't just watch, you hack into your brains. Honestly. Okay, let's see. So, alright, Sensei, can I get a broken code to start off with so I get warmed up? Question mark. Okay, that's what I want to hear, Vivek. Here's your warm up, but pay attention. This code is broken on purpose. I want you to see if you can smell the mistake and fix them like a true Python warrior. So we imported Pygame, initialized Pygame, added our display, added our FPS controller, created a few details for our balls. So balls x-axis is going to be 400 balls, y-axis is going to be 50 balls, velocity is going to be 0, gravity is going to be 0.5, and ground is going to be 500. Okay, we added our game loops. So we created running variable, set that to true. While running, we iterate over our pygame events, and if our event.type equals to pygame.quit, we set our running to be false, and then we add our gravity logic. So ball underscore y-axis, we increase that by our gravity, which is 0.5. Okay, so our y-axis was 50. Okay, this line is wrong. Ball underscore velocity. Okay, plus equals to ball underscore y-axis if ball is less than ground, ball underscore y equals to ground underscore y, and the ball velocity is going to be 0. Okay, your task, find all mistakes in this code, fix the gravity logic so the ball accelerates downwards properly, fix any syntax or logical errors that would crash this program. Okay, so let me copy that, just say there, paste it. Alright, so now let's try figuring it out. The Okay, so for every event in pygame.event, if my event for every event in my pygame.event.get, okay, if event.type equals to pygame.quit, running equals to false, then for our gravity logic, let me just delete that. Okay, if my ball underscore y-axis, okay, so my ball underscore y-axis increases by my gravity. Honestly, this might be my ball underscore velocity. Okay, and my ball underscore velocity increases by my gravity. Then if ball underscore y-axis is less than or equal to ground underscore y, okay, there we go. That should fix it, right? What if I left this part to be the same as before and just changed that? Okay, that's a slow ball. Okay, let's go with Control Shift C, or just a bunch of Control Z's. It's less than or equal to. Okay, so that's a slow ball. Ball underscore y-axis, the gravity. Okay, that was quick. Did we add our FPS? Maybe I copy that, add my FPS here. Okay. That was really quick. Oh, this should be ball dot velocity. There we go. Alright, so let me go with Control C. Get Sensei here. Paste it at a bunch of spaces. Let's say Uh, can you not tell me the error next time? Question mark. Oh, that's right, Vivek. I see what you did there. You fixed the gravity logic perfectly. Next time, I won't tell you what's wrong. Okay? You want me to slap the broken code in your face? Honestly, Sensei, can I get a instructional based code now? Question mark. Okay, that's what I like to hear. Here's your instructional mission. Pay attention. This is one step above warm up. So, instruction 1, create a Pygame window of 800 by 600 pixels. Draw a circle with radius of 30 starting at y axis, which is going to be 50. Implement gravity so it falls naturally. Make the circle bounce when it hits the ground. Y axis equals to 500. Each bounce lose a little energy. Okay, velocity multiplies by negative zero point 0.7. Make sure the game runs at 60 frames per second. Don't add any extra features yet, only focus on gravity and bouncing. If you want to write the full code, okay, I want you to write the full code and send it to me. Alright, so let me get Sensei there. Okay, go with controller, delete that. Honestly, let me actually, since it stays there, let me just open my chats here. Okay, there we go. Um, I feel like I messed my camera up a little. Okay, perfect. Let me just keep this here. Alright, so first you gotta create a Pygame window of 800 by 600 pixels. So let me go ahead and import Pygame, then initialize Pygame by typing pygame.init. Okay, and then let me add FPS. So I'll go with a clock variable so that equal to pygame.time.clock, capitalized clock. Okay, and maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS controller. Okay, now let's add our display. For adding my display, I'll create a screen variable, set that equal to pygame.display.set underscore mode. And let me actually add two variables here. First is of width and height, so width comma height, which is going to be equal to 800 by 600 pixels. And let me copy that, paste it here. So my width is going to be my width and my height is going to be my height. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a caption. Let me type pygame.display.set underscore caption. Let me set the caption to be something like gravity. Okay, and then let's see. Let me go ahead and add my ball details or my circle details. Actually, it's gonna be my ball, right? So ball details. Okay, so for my ball details, draw a circle with a radius of 30 starting at y-axis. So my ball underscore y-axis is gonna be equal to 30, actually 50. Okay, and then implement gravity so it falls naturally. Make the circle bounce when it hits the ground at y at the y-axis of 500. Okay, make it bounce. Alright, I'm pretty sure I know how the bounce logic works. Let me go ahead and add a ball underscore velocity, which is going to be equal to 0 for now. Pretty sure it should be 0. Then a radius for my ball, which is going to be 30. Okay, now let's go ahead and add my game loop. Game loop. Honestly, I feel like I need a gravity variable as well. Gravity. There we go. Okay, gravity is going to be equal to 0.5. Okay, now for my game loop, I'll create a is underscore running boolean variable, so that equals to true, and then add a while loop. So while is underscore running, while my program is running or while my is running is set to true, I'll add FPS. I'll go with clock.tick. Okay, it's gonna be 60. Maybe I'll add a comment here that says FPS, and then let me iterate over my event loops. So I'll go with a while loop. While actually a for loop. So for every event in my pygame dot event dot get, this gets all my pygame events. I'll look for a specific type of event. If my event dot type equals to pygame dot quit, I will do something. I will set my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false. Okay, and then let me add a let me update my display. I'll go with pygame.display.flip. This updates my display. Then I'll set my pygame.quit. Okay. Now, next up, implement gravity so it falls naturally. Let me implement gravity here. Before that, let me fill my screen. So I'll go with screen.fill 0, 0, 0. That's a black color. Okay, and then let me add a comment that says gravity logic. So for my gravity logic, let's see. Okay, I'll go with my ball underscore y-axis. I'll increase that by my ball underscore gravity. Honestly, it's just called gravity. Okay, and then I'll increase my ball. Honestly, this should be ball underscore velocity. And then I'll increase my ball underscore velocity by my by my gravity. Okay, now let me go ahead and add the bounce. So let me go ahead and add bounce. So let's see. If my ball add index, if my ball underscore y-axis minus my radius is less than or equal to 600, my vertical window size. Honestly, I'll go with 500 because I don't want it to completely touch the floor. So if my ball underscore y-axis minus radius is less than or equal to 500, it won't go up. So I'll just go with greater than or equal to 500 minus my radius. I will set my ball underscore y-axis to be equal to 500. Actually, ball underscore y-axis asterisk equals to -1. Honestly, velocity will make more sense. And then my let's see. Okay, honestly, I think this should make sense. Now let me draw my object. So I'll go with ball graphics. Okay, there we go. For my graphics, I'll go with a screen dot. Actually, not screen. Pygame dot draw. Oh my gosh, I can spell. There we go. I'll go with a pygame dot draw dot circle. This will draw a circle. Okay, my circle is gonna be the surface is gonna be my screen. The color of the circle is gonna be I don't know, like red. Okay, and then in a tuple, the center of my circle is gonna be the x-axis and y-axis. Okay, let's see. Let's set the x-axis of my ball. So ball underscore x-axis is gonna be equal to like 400. So ball underscore x-axis comma ball underscore y-axis, and my radius is gonna be my radius. There we go. Now if I run the command, the ball falls and it bounces. Okay. Okay, honestly, I might just go with this. So if my ball underscore radius is less than or equal to 500, or my ball underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to 500 minus my radius, then I will do that. Okay, the ball just goes up. Mm, what if I go with 600? Okay, it still goes up. Minus radius, I forgot. Minus radius. Does 500 really make a big difference? Okay, 600, but this is gonna be greater than. Okay, that does make a difference, and the ball goes higher every time it bounces. My ball underscore velocity is gonna minus by, let's say, 0.7. Minus 0.7. So this should slow my ball every time it bounces. That works. Um, which was it? Practice 5. There. Okay. What if I go with point 0.1? 0.9? Okay. -1. Actually, 0.9 makes more sense. Okay, so it eventually stopped moving. Huh. Hmm. What if I just go with 0.9? Okay, it just falls down. So negative 0.9. Okay, it does bounce, but it doesn't have the perfect bounce. The way I did it before was it did have like a perfect bounce. How does negative 0.7 make a difference? Let's see. Okay, let me just go with A, Control C. Now get Sitsa here. I'm pretty sure I did everything. Let's space right a bunch of space. Actually, just send it. Listen up, Vivek. You're so close, but I see a few things that would drive me mad if I let. Okay, Matt, if I let you think this is perfect, the bounce check, if ball underscore y-axis minus radius is greater than or equal to 600 minus radius, you don't need to subtract radius from both sides. It makes the condition confusing. Just check if ball plus radius is greater than or equal to height to see if the ball touches the ground. The color. Pygame.draw.screen red ball, x-axis ball, y-axis radius. Pygame doesn't accept red as a string. For colors, you need RGB. Tuple like, okay, optional. Clamp the ball position after bounce. Right now, the ball might sink slightly into the floor because the velocity flips after it's already past the ground, okay? Fix it by resetting ball underscore y velocity, okay, underscore y-axis to the floor after bounce. Other than that, your logic is strong, gravity works, and FPS is locked. If you fix these, your code will be perfectly clean. Okay, let me fix that in that case. Okay, then I'll add my ball underscore y-axis to be equal to 0. And it is a good practice to use RGB, so I'll go with 255, 0, 0. That's going to be red. There. Oh, it just falls down. Did this have to be before this? So if my ball plus radius is greater than or equal to height, okay, let's see. Okay, then my ball y velocity is gonna be this. Then maybe I go with ball underscore y-axis equals to 0. Okay, this doesn't work. The previous one honestly did work. Okay, so this does bounce the ball, but it like vibrates a little down here. Let me go ahead and copy that. Get Sutsa here. Paste it at a bunch of spaces. Let's say. Um, I feel like I understood your instructions wrong. I tried it, but it just messed my code up. Can I see the reference of what you meant? Question mark. Okay, Vivek, I can see the confusion burning in your eyes. Look, I'm not going to bear hug your confusion anymore. I'll show you the clean way to handle bounce with gravity. Pay attention. This is how a true sensei does it. So we imported Pygame, initialized Pygame, added our display, added FPS, added our ball details. Okay, added a ground level. So ground Y equals to height minus radius. So 600 minus my radius, which is 30. Game loop, we have it running. While running, we added FPS, added our events loops. For the gravity, ball underscore velocity increases by my gravity, and then ball underscore y-axis increases by my ball underscore velocity. Okay, if ball underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to ground underscore y-axis, ball underscore y-axis equals to ground underscore y-axis, and then ball underscore velocity multiplies by negative zero point 0.7, reverses and reduces velocity. Draw screen dot fails, the black color pygame dot circle dot screen, red ball at x-axis, ball at y-axis, radius, pygame dot display, da, da, da. You're howling C sharp. Appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, see what I did, Vivek? Ground underscore y-axis equals to height minus radius. Simple, no confusion with double subtractions. Double check if ball underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to ground underscore y-axis. Ball can sink into the floor. After bounce, I clamp the position so the ball sits perfectly on the ground. Color fixed to RGB tuple. Okay, now it falls, hits the floor and bounces like a pro. Honestly, I do have a question. So sorry, when we drew our circle for the center of our circle, why did we typecast our y-axis to a integer question mark? I'm a bit late. Honestly, I think you're pretty early. Like, I just started streaming like 20 minutes ago. Okay, Vic, finally a good question. This is why your ball is jumping weirdly before. Pygame doesn't like floats when drawing pixels on the screen. Think about it. A pixel, okay, think about it. A pixel is a whole solid dot. You can't draw zero point 0.5 of a pixel. Your ball underscore y-axis is a float because velocity keeps adding 0.5 each frame gravity. Okay, if you pass a float to pygame.drawdoutCircle, it will either throw an error or round internally, sometimes causing jittery movement. By wrapping it in integer ball underscore y-axis, you force it to a valid pixel coordinate so the circle draws cleanly. Floats are perfect for calculations, smooth physics. Integers are necessary for drawings. Oh, I see. Remember, physics works in floats, graphs works in ints. That's the secret of smooth gravity. If you want, I can show you a quick demo where using floats makes the ball look jittery versus using ints. You'll see the difference like a true Python warrior. Do you want me to show that? Honestly? Honestly, yes, let's say. Okay, that's the spirit, Vivek. Watch closely. This demo will show you why integer ball y-axis is your friend and floats can be your enemy. So we import pygame, initialize pygame, added our display, added our FPS, added our ball details. So balls x-axis, balls y-axis underscore float, balls y-axis underscore integer. Okay, then ball's velocity, which is set to 0, radius is 30, gravity is 0.5, ground equals to height minus radius. We have a running variable. While running, we added our FPS, iterated over PyGame's event, And then we added gravity, so ball underscore velocity plus equals to gravity ball underscore y-axis underscore float. So this is the float of our y-axis. We increase that by our ball velocity. We even increase our ball underscore y-axis as an integer by our ball velocity. So bounce for float. So if ball underscore y-axis underscore float is greater than or equal to our ground underscore y-axis, okay, ball underscore y-axis underscore float equals to ground underscore y-axis, and ball underscore velocity multiplies by negative 0.7. Bounds for integer. If my ball underscore y-axis underscore integer is greater than or equal to ground underscore y-axis, our ball underscore y-axis underscore integer equals to our ground underscore y-axis, and then we multiply our ball underscore velocity by negative zero point 0.7. Then we draw both our objects, filled our screen with a black color, we updated our display and added a pygame.quit. What you'll see, red circle integer, smooth clean bounce, green circle float makes flicker and jittery slightly because pygame rounds internally each frame. Okay, let me copy that. Lesson, always convert y positions into integers for drawings but keep the float for calculations so your physics remains smooth. Okay, try it yourself. Alright, so let me go with the control A, control V. Now if I run the command, they both fall down. Is there like a difference between them falling down? I think that they're the same. And it's not even bouncing. Let me get Sensei back here. I'll paste it at a bunch of spaces. Sensei, both falls down at the same speed and there's no bounce question mark. Vivek, listen to me. Both falling on you see both falling to the ground at the same speed. That's because you're using the same ball underscore velocity for balls every frame. Ball underscore velocity is shared. So when you bounce one, you're affecting the other at the same time. That's why neither ball bounces independently. The physics is entangled. What you need to do, each ball needs its own velocity, separate variables. Okay, like this. Alright. Now the red and green balls will fall smoothly. Alright, so just needed a separate velocity. So ball underscore velocity for my y-axis, and then ball underscore velocity underscore for my x-axis, which is going to be equal to 0. And since that's for my gravity, let's go with gravity for y-axis. Gravity for y-axis is going to be underscore y, and underscore y. Okay, I'll copy that. Let me change this to a lowercase y. I'll copy that, paste it here, change that to x-axis. Actually, this is going to be for integer, right? Was it for integer? So it says float. Okay, then update them independently. Okay, so it's a float and an integer, not x-axis and y-axis. Let me just change this to float and that to integer. Okay, that makes more sense. Let's change this to float. Says underscore float. Then I'll copy that, paste it here, paste it here, paste it here. Yo, what are you building? Honestly, I'm working on how to. I'm understanding about gravities, on how gravities work in Python, how to make objects bounce, players jump, and then just automatically get pulled down. And gravities in general, it's honestly kind of fun. Okay, I'll go with int, and let me go with another int. Int. Alright, so that's for float and that's for int. Okay, what happens if I run it now? Okay, so they bounce. Alright, so okay. Honestly, which bounce feels smoother? Okay, I feel like both bounces honestly work. Let me copy that. Get Sensei here. Paste it and say, Sensei, I feel like both bounces work the same. Nice. Vivek, you're so close, but you just double poisoned the balls with each other's velocity. Listen carefully. Look at these lines you wrote. Okay. Oh, I see. Y-axis plus equals to, what are you thinking? You're adding the float velocity to both balls and the int velocity to both balls. Of course they move the same, they're still entangled. Each ball needs to only use its own velocity. Gravity for float ball, ball underscore velocity underscore float plus equals to gravity. Okay, ball underscore y-axis underscore float plus equals to ball underscore velocity underscore float, and the same for x-axis. Okay, so here's my y-axis. Okay, so the gravity for y-axis, ball underscore y-axis underscore velocity. Okay, I wouldn't need for int here because int is here, and wouldn't need for y-axis here. Would this make a difference? First one was more smooth. I guess it was a stream thing. Oh, I see. Okay, let me actually just go here and copy that part and check if it makes a difference, and I'm just doing like typos. Okay. Oh, so I was doing some typos. They look the same, honestly. Okay, I feel I should do some more instructional based questions. That's velocity for float, that's velocity for integer. Okay, I see. Alright, let me do some more instructional based questions. So basically, let's say, can we do a few instructional based questions? Question mark. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, Vivek. Finally, your balls are fighting their own battles. Floats and end doing their own thing, smooth, clean, and bouncing like true Python warriors. Alright, time to test your skills. We're moving to instructional based questions, one at a time, and I want perfection. Question 1. Create a Pygame window of 800 by 600 pixels. Draw two balls at different x positions. Both balls should have their own gravity and bounce. Add a floor rectangle instead of using height. Add a floor rectangle so the balls can bounce on the rectangle. Okay. The balls should lose 20% of their velocity each bounce multiplied by a negative 0.8. I want you to write this full code, Vivek. No half steps. Use what you learned about floats versus int so far. Okay, so let me go with Control A, delete this, start off by importing Pygame, and then let me initialize Pygame by typing pygame.init. Then let me add FPS. So I'll create a clock variable, set that equal to pygame.clock. Pygame.time.clock. Then I'll add a comment that says FPS controller. Okay, and then let me add my display. For my display, I'll create a screen variable, set that equal to pygame.display.set underscore mode. Then I will add a width and a height variable, let's set that equal to 800 and 600. Then I'll copy my width variable, paste it here, add a comma, copy my height variable, paste it here. Okay, and then let me add a caption. So pygame.display.set underscore caption. I'll keep my caption to something like gravity. Okay, that's gonna be height. Okay, there we go. Then let me add my ball details. Okay, for my ball details, create a Pygame window. Okay, at two balls at different x positions. So I'll go with ball underscore x-axis. I'll set that to something like 400. Then a ball underscore y-axis. I'll set that equal to 300 at the center of my screen. Both balls should have their own gravity and bounce. Okay, so I'll go with ball underscore velocity, which is going to be equal to 0 for now, and then a gravity, which is going to be equal to 0.5. Okay, and then this is going to be my ball 1. Now let me add the details for my ball 2. Ball 2 details. Okay, for my ball 2, I'll go with ball. I think this would make more sense. Okay, I'll go with ball 2 underscore x-axis, which is going to be equal to, let's see. Honestly, I'll change that to 100 and I'll change this to like 300. And then I'll go with a ball 2 underscore y-axis. My ball 2's y-axis is going to be equal to 500, 300. And then a ball underscore 2 underscore velocity, which is going to be set to 0. And then gravity, okay, which is going to be set to 0.5 as well. Excuse me guys, so ball 1 underscore gravity, ball 2 underscore gravity. Then let me add my, honestly, let me go with a rect floor. So a floor underscore rect. So my floor rect, let's see how long should it be. Its x-axis is going to be about, that's going to be 600, 500. Let's go with 400. That's 300, so I'll go with 200. So floor underscore, or floor equals to pygame dot rect. Okay, so my floor's x-axis is gonna be about the 0, the center of the screen, or not center of the screen, honestly. Okay, the y-axis is gonna be 200. The width is gonna be something like my display width, so width is gonna be my width, and height is gonna be my height. Okay, so that's gonna be adding a floor. Let me go ahead and add my game loop now. For my game loop, I'll go with a is underscore running boolean variable. I'll set that equal to true. Then let me add a while loop. So while is underscore running, while my program is running or while my is running is set to true, I'll add my FPS. So clock.tick is gonna be 60. I'll add a comment that says FPS, and then let me add a event loop. So I'll iterate over my pygame events. For every event in my pygame.event.get, this gets all my pygame events. I look for a specific type of event. If my event.type equals to pygame.quit, I will set my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false, and then let me update my display by typing pygame.display.flip. Okay, and then lastly, let me go ahead and add a pygame.quit. Alright, now let me fill my screen. So I'll go with a screen.fill. I'll fill my screen with a black color. And then let me go ahead and add gravity for ball 1. Okay, so gravity for ball 1. I'm gonna go with ball underscore 1 or ball 1 underscore y-axis. I'll increase that by my gravity, my ball 1's gravity. Then I'll go with my ball underscore 1 underscore velocity. I'll increase that by my ball 1's gravity. Okay, I'm pretty sure this logic is a little messed up. Ball 1 underscore y-axis increases by my ball 1's gravity, and then my ball 1's velocity increases by my ball 1's gravity. This should most likely increase by my ball 1's velocity. Ball 1 underscore velocity. Okay, that looks correct. Now let me go ahead and add a gravity for my ball 2. I'll do the same thing. I'll go with ball 2 underscore y-axis. I'll increase that by my ball underscore velocity. Okay, ball 2 underscore velocity. Then I'll go with my ball underscore 2 underscore velocity. I'll increase that by my ball 2's gravity. Underscore 2. Don't I have a gravity for my ball 2? There. Let me copy that. Maybe delete that. Okay. Now I'll go with there. Ball 2. Okay, so my ball 1 gravity, is it called something else? Ball 1 underscore gravity. Okay, so ball 1 underscore gravity. I'm pretty sure I have a ball 1 gravity variable. Okay, I paste that here. Alright, now let me add a bounce. So bounce for ball 1. Alright, so I'll go with, actually I forgot to add a ground variable. Let me add a ground. Ground. I'll go with ball 1 underscore ground, which is going to be equal to, let's see, my y-axis, my ball 1's y-axis minus my height. So my ball 1's y-axis minus my ball 1's height. Actually, minus my height. Honestly, my height is going to be somewhere just minus my floor. Okay, there. So in that case, I'll have to copy that and add that here. Okay, so floor dot height. Okay, and for my ball 2, I'll go with ball underscore 2 or ball 2 underscore ground, which is going to be equal to my ball 2 underscore y-axis minus my floor underscore height. Okay, and then for my ball 1's bounce, let's see. Did I have to go with, okay, so an if statement. So if my ball 1's y-axis plus my radius, so if my ball 1's y-axis plus my ball 1's radius, I'm pretty sure I didn't create a radius variable. Okay, let me go with radius 1 equals to 30, and here radius 2 equals to 30 as well. Okay, if my ball 1 plus my radius 1 is greater than or equal to... did I spell radius correct? Oh, it's radius underscore 1. Okay, if my ball 1 plus my radius 1 is greater than or equal to my ground, my ball 1 ground, I multiply my ball 1's velocity by 20%. So 0.8. Okay, now let me add a bounce for my... Okay, 0.8. I might add my ball 1 underscore y-axis. I'll reassign it to be equal to 0. Okay, and then let me add a bounce for my ball 2. And I don't think I need a 0 right now. Okay, I'll do the same thing. If my ball 2 underscore y-axis is greater than, plus my radius underscore 2 is greater than or equal to my ball 2 underscore ground, I will multiply my ball 2 underscore velocity by negative 8%. 0.8. Okay, now let me go ahead and draw my images. So I'll go with ball graphics. Okay, for my ball graphics, let me go ahead and add, let's see, screen.fill. Actually, screen.draw. Okay, now man, I'm not blading anything, so I'll go with pygame.draw.circle. I'll draw a circle. I want the circle to be drawn on my surface. I want the color of my circle to be, let's go with 200, 200, 200, gray color. And then in a tuple, since I'm drawing my x-axis is going to be my ball one's x-axis, comma, integer, ball one's y-axis. Okay, and then outside the tuple, I'll go and add my radius for my ball one. Then let me draw my ball 2. So pygame dot draw dot circle. I'll draw a circle on my screen. The color of my circle is going to be red. So 255, 0, and 0. Then inside a tuple at the center of my ball 2. So ball 2's x-axis and then integer ball 2's y-axis. There we go. And then outside the tuple, I'll go with my radius for my ball 2. Okay, and lastly, I have to draw my rect for my floor. So I'll go with a pygame dot draw dot rect. So the surface is going to be my screen. The color is going to be, I'll go with black. So 0, 0, 0. I don't know the RGB for a brown circle. I mean a brown floor because it will look like mud. Okay, the x-axis is going to be my floor dot x-axis, floor dot y-axis, floor dot width, and floor dot height. Okay, now if I run the command. Okay, let me run the command and check if it works. Name error, y-axis is not defined. Oh, I added a comma instead of a dot. Floor dot y. There we go. Okay. Did I go with a flip? I did go with a flip. I filled my screen. Then I drew on top of my screen with a gray color. Okay, that looks like my whole floor. Let's see. What if I went with red floor? Is my floors okay? Yeah, so my floors are definitely real big. Gotta decrease the size of it most likely. Okay, my width and height is my actual displaced width and height. I might go with like 100 and 300. Okay, so my balls are there. So 100 and let this be 100. Let this be around 800. Okay, I gotta get my floor a little lower, so I'll go with 400. Okay, that's the height. Oh, actually, I don't think I need to mess with this. I gotta move my y-axis. That was my height. So x-axis, y-axis is gonna be like, let's go with 600. Okay, it went too low. What if I go with 400? There we go. 500. Okay, that's like a floor. I can change the color of it to okay, that's the color. But it depends. My bounce logic isn't honestly working. If my ball underscore y-axis plus my radius underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to ball 1 underscore ground, my ball's y-axis, shit, this thing. My ball 1 underscore ground. I don't have a ground. That's not my ground. That's my floor. So, okay, that is my ground, right? Okay, honestly, I didn't do much questions related to this topic. I might need some more help with it. Let me get Sensei here. Paste it. Add a bunch of dash Sensei. Sensei. I feel like I honestly messed up with my bounce. Okay, Vivek, listen to me. This is classic. You misunderstood the floor. Okay, mess up. I can feel your confusion burning through the screen. Look at these lines. Ball 1 underscore ground equals to ball 1 underscore y-axis plus floor dot height. What are you thinking? The ground level shouldn't be based on the ball's starting y-axis. It should be based on the floor's rectangle top. Okay, your bounce multiplier is also wrong. Ball 1 underscore velocity multiplied by, okay, that should have been negative 0.8. This doesn't even reverse the velocity. Your ball will just slide into the floor. Excuse me, guys. Instead of bouncing, it should be ball underscore or ball 1 underscore velocity multiplied by negative 0.8. Negative to reverse. Okay, yeah, that was a silly mistake. Here's how you should think. Ground y equals to floor dot y minus radius. Okay, minus radius. Top of the floor minus radius. If ball y is greater than or equal to ground underscore y, ball 1 underscore y equals to ground y. Okay. Ball 1 underscore velocity multiplied by negative 0.8. Same for ball 2 with its own velocity and radius. Vivek, your task. Fix your bounce logic using the floor rect and make sure velocity is reversed. Okay, let me honestly just go here real quick and open my RGB color picker. There we go. Okay, this is gonna be honest. This is honestly gonna be helpful. I want to pick around like a brown color for my floor. So how do we go for brown here? Does that look like brown? That looks pretty brown. Okay, do we go down here to like see the colors? Oh, okay, so that's the RGB code 140, 93, and 0. Okay, perfect. Alright, so the place where I messed up was my ground should be my floor minus my radius. Minus my radius 1 or radius underscore 1. Okay, and my radius, copy that. It should be here. There we go. Okay, so under my radius, I'll go with this. I'll copy that, delete that from there, paste it here. Okay, delete that. Go with minus radius underscore 2. Okay, there we go. And then I need to add an if statement here for my balls. So if my ground, if my ball 1 underscore ground underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to my ball ground, my ball 1's ground, my ball underscore y-axis is going to be equal to my ball 1 underscore ground. Okay, and my speed. So my ball 1 underscore velocity is going to increase by let's see, negative 0.8, 20%. The same thing for my ball 2. I paste this here. If my ball 2's y-axis is greater than or equal to my ball 2's ground, my ball underscore y-axis. So which ball is it? Okay, I gotta go with my ball 2 here and ball 1 there. Ball 1, okay, there we go. Apparently this should fix it. Did I go with negative 0.8? My ball goes upwards, so okay, so if my ball 1 underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to my ground underscore y-axis, my ground is basically my ball's ground, right? Okay, so ball underscore velocity, da, ball 1 underscore y-axis. Look at these lines. Da, da, da. Okay, so my ground y, so da, minus my floor underscore y-axis. Okay, so this shouldn't be higher. This should be y-axis. Okay, there we go. Apparently the ball should... Okay, that ball just hits down and goes up. Did I mess up something in my bounce? If my ball 1 underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to my ball 1's ground, okay, my ball 1 underscore y-axis equals to my ground y. Same for ball 2 with its own velocity and radius. Okay, it's set for its own velocity and radius. So I think that I wouldn't need separate grounds for them. Let me copy that, delete that. Okay, and then delete that. Go with a ground variable, I mean comment here, and then I space. Go with ground underscore y-axis equals to that. Alright, this should be my ground y. Then I copy that, paste it here, and paste it here. Alright, now if I run the command. Okay, they both fall and one go up. Am I messing up the logic? I did. This is negative, negative. Ball 2 has its own radius and its own velocity. Okay, ball y equals to ground, and then ball 1 underscore velocity multiplies or asterisk equals. Okay, that was a little silly. Okay, they do fall down, but they don't bounce up. This thing should have bounced them up. Ball 1 underscore velocity asterisk equals to negative 0.8. That's the gravity. Okay, honestly, let me go with Control A, Control C. Get Sensei back here. Wrong one. There we go. Paste here and say, Sensei, it's much better, but there's no bounce. Okay, Vivek, I can see the frustration rising. Now pay attention, you're so close, but you're still messing up the velocity for two balls. Let me honestly drink some water. Probably because I'm not hydrated enough. Look here, bounce for ball 2. If ball 2 underscore y-axis is greater than or equal to ground underscore y-axis, ball 2 underscore y-axis equals to ground underscore y-axis, and ball 1 underscore velocity asterisk equals to negative 0.8. Do you see that? You're reverse applying ball 1's velocity. Okay, it should be ball 2. Also notice you use ground underscore y-axis equals to floor dot y-axis minus radius 1. That works for ball 1, but ball 2 has a different radius. You should make a separate ground calculation for each ball. Ground 1 underscore y-axis. Okay, now ball 1 and ball 2 will bounce independently and correctly. Okay, fix the issues. So, okay, I was using the same ball 1 for some reason. Okay, and then I will need separate grounds for them. So that's ground 1's y-axis, and this is going to be my ground underscore 2's y-axis, which is going to be equal to floor underscore y minus radius underscore 2. Okay, so that checks for ground 1. That checks for ground 2. Ground underscore 2. Honestly, this would make sense. Let me just change it here. There. Okay, now if I were to run the command. Okay, perfect. They do bounce. Did they stop bouncing? Okay. They bounce forever. Let me honestly change the color for this. So what was the RGB color? It was 140, 93, and 0 for brown. Okay, what if I wanted the back to be blue? Maybe a little light blue. Let's check. Okay, so that's gonna be um 0, 173, and 255. So I'll go with my screen dot fill. Change that to 0, 173, and 255. There, that looks much better. Maybe two black balls. So let me change that to 0, that to 0, that to 0, that to 0, and 0. Okay, that looks pretty good, honestly. All right, that works. Copy that. Although I don't take credit for this question because I got like a lot of help. Let me paste that at a bunch of spaces and say, so let's say it works, but I need a lot more help! Exclamation. Okay, is there? Oh, Vivek, yes, finally our balls are fighting their own battles and bouncing like true Python warriors. Now listen up, I can feel the fire in your brain and I love it. We're going to take this gravity system to the next level. Here's what we can do next. Jumping mechanics. Make a player controlled ball. Okay, make a player controlled ball that can jump on key presses. You combine gravity and negative velocities for jump. Okay. Variable gravity. Change player per ball or per object to see how physics affects movement differently. Energy loss. Right now you're losing 20% energy each bounce. You can make it more realistic by reducing gravity slightly over time or adding friction. Multiple balls. Add more balls with random radius, velocity, and colors so you can simulate a ball bouncing world. Let's start with the player controlled jump ball. Instruction 2. Okay, honestly, I had a question real quick. Jump mechanics. Da, 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 da. Okay, sensei, instead of an object, can we also do it with PNGs question mark? I honestly want to use the PNGs I made. Okay, and then while sensei is replying, let me lubricate my lips. Okay, let me check if I'm audible because yesterday my mic just suddenly stopped working. It's like it stops working when I least expect it to. Alright. Vivek, hell yes, you can use PNGs. Listen closely. This is how you combine gravity and sprites. Load your PNG player underscore image equals to pygame.image.load. Path to your PNG convert alpha since it's a PNG and then player rect. Okay, equals to player underscore image dot get rect player underscore rect dot x axis equals to 400 player underscore rect dot y axis equals to 300 velocity variables player underscore velocity underscore y axis equals to 0. That's my player. Load your PNG. Okay, then gravity is 0.1, jump strength is -10, negative to go up. Okay, movement with keys, the basic key movements, although a special one is with space. If keys at index of pygame.key is left, my player underscore reg.x axis decreases by 5. If my keys at index of pygame.key is right, my player underscore reg.y.x axis increase by 5. If my keys underscore pygame.key is space and my player underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor dot y-axis, my player underscore velocity equals to my jump strength. Gravity and bounce. Player underscore velocity underscore y-axis plus equals to gravity. Player underscore rect dot y-axis plus equals to my player underscore velocity underscore y-axis. If my player underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to my floor dot y-axis, player underscore rect dot bottom equals to my floor dot y-axis. Player underscore velocity multiplied by or asterisk equals to -0.8. This gives me the bounce. Draw. Screen dot blit, player image, player rect. Okay, Vivek, this is the real deal. Your PNG will fly and bounce just like a ball. No more boring circles. If you want, I can give you a full working code with it. Honestly, I did the code. I want to try it on my own now. Alright. I added a group by mistake. Whoops. Okay, that aside, let me go with Control A, delete that. I'll start up by importing Pygame and then initializing Pygame by typing pygame.init. And then let me add FPS control. So I create a clock variable, set that equal to pygame.time dot capitalize clock. I'll add a comment that says FPS controller. Then let me go ahead and add my displays. So for my display, I'll add a width and a height variable. So that equal to 800 by 600 pixels. Let me change this to display, and then let me create a screen variable. So that equal to pygame.display.set underscore mode. I'll set my mode to be my width and my height variable. Then let me go ahead and add a pygame.display.set underscore caption. Let me add a caption for my game. Okay, there we go. My caption is going to be something like gravity. Alright, and then let me let me load my images. So load images. Okay, so I'll go with the first image is going to be, let's see. In my NPCs, I have a boss and a player. I think, do I want to load a few projectiles or like, I don't know, maybe I'll go with my game weapons. A shield would probably look good. So shield underscore image equals to pygame dot image dot load. I'll load a shield PNG. So I'll go with my game items. I'll give the path to my shield PNG. My shield goes most likely my game weapons. Then my shield PNG. I will convert it to alpha because it's a PNG. Okay, for now I'll just need one, and then let me create a rect. I won't create masks right now because I'm not doing pixel perfect collision. I'll just go with shield underscore rect, which is going to be equal to my shield underscore image dot get underscore rect, and then I'll give a location to it. So my location could be top left, maybe at the so it's 800 by 600 pixels, right? So maybe around 400 by 50 pixels. So I'll go with 50 and 400. This should be inside of a tuple. Okay, I created my shields. Okay, what else did I need? Okay, so I gotta load my image. I added a rect. Now my rect.x-axis, rect.y-axis, I set that in my this thing. Okay, this shouldn't make a big difference. That is my x-axis and my y-axis. I can still access them by typing rect dot. And then these are going to be, okay, let me go with my velocity variables. So velocity variables. Okay, for my velocity variables, let's see. Let me add a player underscore velocity, or since my shield is my player, I'll go with shield underscore velocity underscore y-axis. So my shield's y-axis velocity, which is going to be set to 0. Okay, and then my gravity. My gravity is going to be set to 0.5. Okay, and then my jump strength. So my jump underscore strength is going to be set to -10. Alright, so let me drink water real quick. Okay, perfect. So my jump negative strength is like negative goes up to down. Alright, now let me go ahead and add my game loop. For my game loop, I'll create a is underscore running boolean variable. So that equal to true. Okay, and then let me add a while loop. So while is underscore running while my program is running, um while is underscore running, while my program is running or while my is running is set to true, I will add FPS. So clock dot tick is gonna be 60. Maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS, and then let me iterate over my pygame event. So event loop, I'll go with a for loop. For every event in my pygame.event.get, this gets all my pygame events. I look for a specific type of event. If my event.type equals to pygame.quit, I will set my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false. Okay, and then maybe I'll add some space and add a pygame.display pygame.display.flip. This is gonna update my display, and then let me go with a pygame.quit. Alright, let me just check something. Okay, next up, let me go with a screen.fill. I'm gonna fill my screen with the blue color. I forgot the RGB for the blue, so it's 0, 173, and 255. So it's gonna be 0, 173, and 255. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a comment that says, let's see, I'll go and add my shield movement. So shield movement, for my shield movement, let me add a keys variable and set that equal to pygame.key.get underscore press. Okay, and then let me add a bunch of if statements. If my keys at index of pygame.key is right, pygame.k, uppercase K. There we go. Okay, is right, K underscore right. I will do something. I will set my player underscore rect dot x-axis to increase. This is not player, it should be my shield. Okay, my shield underscore rect to increase by my shield underscore velocity underscore y-axis. Honestly, I don't think I need an x-axis here, right? Since it's a player, I might just need velocity, nothing else. So shield underscore velocity. Okay, and then if my keys at index of pygame.key is left, if my left key is pressed, I will decrease my shield underscore rect dot x-axis by my shield underscore velocity. Okay, and then lastly, if my keys at index of pygame.key is space, this is the first time I'm actually using the space key here. Okay, so I'm pretty sure there was an and, right? Okay, so it's space and my player underscore rect. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Okay, and my shield underscore rect dot bottom. Okay, dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor underscore, actually floor dot y-axis. Floor dot y-axis. Do I have a floor variable here? I don't. So I gotta create a floor variable, maybe under this. I'll go with floor. Okay, my floor is going to be a rectangle, so I'll go with floor equals to let's see, pygame.rect. Okay, I'll add x-axis, y-axis, width and height. So my x-axis is going to be, let's see, something like honestly, my floor's width is going to be a lot, so my x-axis could be anything. I'll keep it as 0. My y-axis is going to be around 400. My width is going to be, let's see, I want it to be a rectangle. My display size is 800, so I'll keep my width to be 800 and height to be 200. My floor dot y-axis. Okay, then I will do something. My player's velocity is gonna be equal to my jump strength. My jump strength is set to -10. Alright, and then it's gravity and bounce. So player underscore y-axis is gonna increase by my gravity, and my player underscore rect at y-axis is gonna increase by my player underscore velocity. If my player underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to my floor underscore y-axis, okay. So let me go ahead and add my uh bounce and gravity. Okay, for my bounce and gravity, let's see. Let me go ahead and add my player underscore velocity increases by my gravity, which is it increases by 0.5. Okay, and then my player's y-axis increases by my player's velocity. So my player underscore rect, this should be my shield. Okay, and then my shield underscore rect is gonna be equal. Honestly, it's gonna increase by my shield underscore velocity. Okay, and then for my gravity, I'll go with if my player underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to my floor underscore y-axis, my player's bottom is going to be equal to my floor's y-axis, and I'm going to reverse my velocity. That's going to give me the bounce. Okay, so if my shield underscore rect y-axis is greater than or equal to my floor's y-axis, okay, my shield underscore rect y-axis is going to be equal to my floor dot y-axis. Okay, equal to y-axis. Okay. All right. And honestly, let me just check something. Equal to y-axis. All right. Perfect. Next up, I will reverse my shield underscore velocity by asterisk equals to -0.8. Okay, now I gotta draw my images on the screen. So to draw them on the screen, let me go with player or just go with graphics. This loads all my graphics in the screen. For my graphics, I'll go with screen.blitz, my shield underscore image, comma, my shield underscore rect. Okay, there we go. Rect. Okay, perfect. And then let me, honestly, I feel like my shield was the only thing that I had to load in. If I would run the command, that's a tiny floor. Okay, hold up. Wait. Uh, did I run the wrong command? Guys, this looks like the wrong file. Okay, shield image, shield rect. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Ninja Sharp? I appreciate you joining this stream, and I apologize if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm really bad at pronouncing, guys. Okay, let me actually check. Alright, perfect. That's honestly pretty strange. I think it's because of my floor. I gotta increase the x-axis, y-axis, width, and height of my floor. Why is my height random? It says color changing circles. This isn't my current file. I don't know which file this is, guys. It clearly says boom collided. This isn't even my collision logic, guys. I didn't even add collision logic. It says I ran my practice files. I'm running my current file. If I run my current file, it gives me, I didn't even add a, guys, I literally didn't even add a collision logic here. Like, there's no collision logic. Should I like go here and run directly? Okay, let's check which file has the collision logic in it. Honestly, let me just delete all my files. Guys, we're deleting everything from all files. Okay, that's my graphics. There we go. Okay, this might be the collision logic one. Now, there we go. Import error. Cannot import. Did I import something by mistake? Something wrong? No wonder. I imported something wrong. I can just control Z all that now. Okay, now it should work. Okay, so type error. Unsupported operand plus equals. So I had a typo. Line 48. So shield underscore rect dot y-axis plus equals to my shield's velocity. Okay. There's something. Okay, I clearly messed up. Let me go with Control A, Control C, get Sensei up here. Okay, base tried a bunch of Sensei. I honestly tried, but I feel like I messed up. Dot dot dot. Okay, Vivek, I can feel the frustration across the screen. You're so close, but there are multiple critical screw-ups losing your gravity system. Listen closely. This is sensei level critical. You're mixing up velocity variables. If my keys at index of pygame.key is space and my shield underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor dot y axis. Okay, floor dot y player underscore velocity equals to jumps underscore strength. There is no player underscore velocity. You must use shield underscore velocity. That player velocity. Right now, spaces does nothing. Correct. If keys at index of pygame.k is space and shield. Da, da, da. Okay, so my shield equals. Okay, horizontal movement speed is 0. If keys at index of pygame.key is right, okay, that is going to be 0 because my velocity is set to 0. You're adding shield velocity vertical to x. That's wrong. You need a horizontal speed. H underscore speed equals 5. If keys at index of pygame.key is right, my shield underscore rect dot x axis increases by my horizontal speed. Okay. Floor collision. Da, da, da. Okay. If shield at y-axis, this will sink your PNG into the floor. Use shield dot rect dot bottom, not y. Huh. Okay. Vivek, I want you to fix these 3 issues. Use shield underscore vertical for vertical movement jumping. Da, da, da. Okay, honestly, that was the issue, but I just realized I forgot to transform my image as well, so it's probably gonna be like squished. Okay, let me actually go under my rect and go with um transform and scale. So to transform and scale my image, let me go with let's see, I'll define a function called scale. I'll add a few parameters. First one is going to be my image. Second one is going to be a factor, which is going to be equal to 0.110%. Okay, and then I will return pygame dot transform dot scale. I want to scale my image. The size is going to be a tuple integer. My image dot get underscore width. I will get the width of my image, and then I will multiply that by my get underscore. Actually, I'll multiply it by my factor, which is 0.1. Then I'll add a comma and go with another integer, image dot get underscore height. I'll get the height of my image this time and multiply it by my factor. Okay, and now let me go ahead and reassign my shield underscore image to be equal to pygame dot no equal to my invoke scale function and my shield underscore image. There we go. And I feel like my rect should be under this. Copy that, go there, and then create a rect here. Alright, perfect. Now let me fix the mistakes that I had before. My shield velocity is basically 0. I don't have a horizontal velocity, so I can go under my velocities and add a horizontal velocity. I'll set that equal to 5 pixels per frame, and then a shield velocity. Maybe I'll change this to vertical um underscore velocity. Then I'll copy that. Let me paste that, paste that, paste that, paste that, paste that. Okay, and those are for y-axes. These should be my horizontals. So my horizontal velocity, horizontal velocity. Okay, perfect. That was my first mistake. I fixed my second mistakes well. Okay, what was my second mistake again? Okay. Okay, it should be bottom, so I had top instead. So I mean, I wrote y-axis instead of bottom. Okay. So if my shield underscore rect dot bottom, I need to ask the difference between y-axis and the bottom, because I feel like they're like kind of the same maybe. Or bottom is like the bottom and top is like the top most likely. Guys, I'm real stupid when it comes to things like these, but that aside, okay. Basically, that's all I needed for the bottoms, right? Vertical velocity. Okay, now if I run the command, there's my shield. That works. Okay, but my spacebar doesn't work. If my keys are index of pygame.key is space and my shield.rect.bottom is greater than or equal to floor. Did I blit my floor? I added my floor here. Let me go ahead and draw my floor. Or excuse me, guys. Okay, so that's my floor, right? Okay, my floor is a rectangle, so I'll go with screen dot draw dot. I mean not screen dot draw, my bad, guys. Let me go with pygame dot draw dot rect. I'll draw a rectangle in my screen. The rectangle surface is going to be my screen. Color is going to be what was the brown color again? Was it like let me check. So okay, the brown is going to be 150, 91, and 0. So going to be 150, 91, and 0. Okay, and since it's a rectangle, I'm going to add my floor in a actually outside a tuple. This has all the attributes of my floor. Alright, so now if I run the command, there's my floor. Okay, I can move right and left, but I can't jump. My spacebar doesn't work. If keys are index of pygame.key, oh, plus equals to jump strength. Velocity equals to jump strength. Okay, and my player velocity is. I don't have a player velocity. There we go. This is going to be my shield, or honestly, my vertical velocity equals to jump strength. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, perfect. Can I like exit? Okay, I can exit the screen. Alright, that works. Guys, this is kind of fun. I just want to play with this. I could make like so many games with this, like maybe an obby game. Okay, that aside, let me go there. Let's see. Now let me analyze this real quick. If my keys at index of pygame.key is space and my shield underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor, my vertical velocity equals to my jump strength. Since my jump strength is -10, I'm gonna go upwards. Okay, what if it was positive 10? What if it was positive 10? Hmm, okay, it keeps vibrating. Okay, let's see. Okay, what if it was negative 10? Does it still vibrate? Okay, it's bouncing. It's kind of vibrating. Okay, it's. Oh, I didn't add a space. I mean, I added a space by mistake. Now, will it still keep vibrating? Okay, it still does. Let me copy that. Okay, but it does work. The code does work. Not that. Let's say it here. Paste it at a bunch of spaces. Say it works. Although I had two questions. Dot dot dot. My first question was that I didn't. I changed the whatchamacallit, what was that? The jump speed to be uh, jump speed to be positive 10, and it still worked the same, and my still worked the same as when my jump speed was negative 10. And also, when I let's see, and also, what's the what's the difference between having dot y and dot bottom question mark? Like, finally your PNG is dancing in the air like a true Python warrior. Let me clarify your two questions before you get cocky. Why your jump still worked when you used plus 10 instead of negative 10 in Pygame window. The y-axis increases as you go down, not up. That means 0 is the top of the screen, height is the bottom of the screen, vertical velocity is negative 10, moves up, vertical underscore velocity positive 10 moves down. If you used plus 10 and it still worked, it probably wasn't jumping like you expected. It was moving downwards faster. Okay, that did happen, but gravity corrected it over a few frames, so visually it may looked okay, but you weren't really jumping. Negative velocity is the correct way to jump because you want the object to go up first, then gravity brings that back down. Difference between dot y and dot bottom in pygame.rex. Dot y, the top edge of your rectangle. Changing it moves the rect from the top left corner. Okay, the top edge of your rectangle. Changing it moves the rect from the top left corner. Okay, dot bottom, the bottom edge of your rectangle changes it from the rects based on the bottom. Why it matters: when detecting floor collision, you care about the bottom of your PNG hitting the floor, not the top. If you use dot y, your PNG might sink into the floor because dot y only tracks the top using dot bottom. Okay, using the top. Dot bottom ensures it sits perfectly on top of the floor. Vivek, this is crucial. If you don't internalize this, your PNGs will always sink or float like drunk balloons. I want you to try modifying your code to add two more PNGs falling with gravity just like balls and keep them bouncing perfectly. You got this. Do one PNG at a time. Okay, so let me go ahead and add one PNG. Usually I delete my whole code, but this time I actually might not delete the whole code because I do wanna see these. Honestly, I actually remember everything. I can just delete the whole code. Bounce gravity, bounce and gravity, vertical underscore velocity plus equals to gravity, shield underscore rect dot y axis. increases by my gravity. My gravity is first set to 0. Initially, my velocity, my y-axis velocity is initially set to 0. I increase that by my gravity, which is 0.5. Then I increase my shield underscore reg dot y-axis by my vertical velocity. And then if my shield underscore reg dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor dot y, my shield underscore reg dot bottom equals to my floor dot y, and I reverse my vertical velocity by multiplying it by a negative zero point 0.8. And then I add my graphics. Okay, perfect. Let me go with Control A, delete this whole thing. Now let me start up by importing Pygame. Let me initialize Pygame by typing pygame.init. Then let me go ahead and add a FPS. So I'll go with clock equals to pygame.time.clock. I don't know, I'll name this something like FPS controller. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add my display. For my display, I'll go with a width and a height variable. I'll set that equal to 800 and 600 pixels. There we go. And then I'll go with a screen variable. I'll set that equal to pygame.display.set underscore mode. I'll set my mode to be my width, comma my height. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a caption. So I'll go with pygame.display.set underscore caption. My caption is gonna be something like, I don't know, like bouncing player plus gravity. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add my player details. Actually, I'll load my images first. So I'll load images. I'll need 2 images this time. Honestly, I might go with a help. Let me go with my NPC images, honestly. So I'll go with player underscore image equals to pygame dot image dot load. I'll give the path for my player image, which is my game items, followed by 2 forward slashes, NPCs, 2 more forward slashes, my player PNG. I will convert it to alpha because it's a PNG. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a. Let me drink some water first. Okay, and then let's see. So I add 2 more PNGs, right? I might add projectiles, honestly. Maybe I add. Okay, let me actually go with my enemy underscore image equals to pygame.image.load. I'll give the game file path of my enemy image, so game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by NPC followed by 2 forward slashes, and then my enemy PNG. My enemy PNG. I will convert this to alpha because it's a PNG, so dot convert alpha. There we go. Okay, and then let me add a comment that says transform and scale. I'll transform and scale my PNGs. Okay, so to transform my scale, I'll go ahead and define a function called scale. I'll add 2 parameters. First is going to be my image. Second is going to be a quark of factor, which is going to be set to 0.1. Then I'll go ahead and return pygame.transform.scale. Excuse me, guys. The surface is going to be my screen. The colors is going to be, I mean, honestly, not color. I'll go with the transform. So a tuple and now integer. So I'll go with an integer. I'll get my image. Excuse me, guys. So image. Excuse me again, guys. Image.get underscore width. I'll get the width of my image. I'll multiply my width by my factor, which is 0.1, aka 10%. I'll add a comma and now go with the height of my image. So I'll go with integer image.get underscore height. and I'll multiply my height by my factor. Then I'll go ahead and reassign my player underscore image to be equal to, I'll invoke my scale function and add my player underscore image here. Then I'll do the same thing with my enemy underscore image. I'll reassign that and add invoke my scale function, go with my enemy underscore image. Okay, now let me add Rex since it's a PNG. So to add Rex, let me go ahead and add my player. Actually, a comment. So create Rex. Rex means rectangles. To create a rect, I'll go with player underscore rect equals to player underscore image dot get underscore rect. The position, I don't know. I'll keep the position to be something like uh, um, top left. This could be anything. I just write it top left. A tuple of 100 by 300 pixels. I mean, not pixels. This is width and that's height. Then let me create a rect for my enemy. So enemy underscore rect is gonna be equal to. I honestly might automate my enemy and add collision logic as well. So enemy underscore rect equals to enemy underscore image dot get underscore rect. Then my enemy is going to be positioned at the top left, which is going to be equal to a tuple of 500 by 300. Okay, and then I created Rex, created my enemies. Let me go ahead and add my velocities. So velocities, there we go. Okay, so for my velocities, I'll have to add velocities for my player and for my NPCs. So I might change. I might specifically keep this for my player. So player underscore velocity, and second one would be NPC underscore velocity. My player underscore x-axis is gonna be equal to, since my player is a rect, my player underscore x-axis underscore velocity is gonna be equal to 8 pixels or like 5 pixels per frame, and my player underscore y-axis underscore velocity is gonna be set to 0. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add gravity. Gravity is gonna be equal to 0.5. Did I need anything else? So player, x-axis, y-axis, I would need a ground. So let me go ahead and create a floor. Okay, so my floor is gonna be equal to, let's see. I'll go with pygame.rect. I'll create a rect. My floor is gonna be a rect. X-axis, y-axis, width and height. My floor's x-axis is gonna be something like 100. Y-axis is going to be something like, let's see, uh 300 will make sense. I could change this later. Width is going to be, width is the width, I don't know, like 800. Height is going to be 200. All right, that adds it for my floor. Next up, let me go ahead and add my enemy underscore velocity. So my enemy's velocity. Okay, so enemy underscore x-axis underscore velocity is gonna be equal to 5 pixels per frame as well. And then I'll go with my enemy underscore y-axis underscore velocity is gonna be 0. My enemy wouldn't need a specific gravity. Okay, because gravity works the same for everyone. Basically, I just need that because my enemy is a vector as well, so I can get x-axis, x-axis, y-axis, width and height from here. Alright, so let me go ahead and add my collision detection. I'll add it here so I wouldn't have to add it later. I'll go with, this is not going to be a pixel perfect collision, so I'll just go with if my player underscore rect dot If my player underscore rect dot x-axis or y-axis, uh, I actually might add masks because I forgot how to do the basic square collisions. So I'll have to go with pixel perfect collision apparently. Alright, so let me go ahead and create masks. So I'll create mask. Okay, so let me create a player mask first. Player mask equals to pygame.mask.from underscore surface. My surface is going to be my player underscore image, and I might add this thing here that says for collisions. For collisions. And then I don't have a collision variable. I'll go ahead and set a collision variable to be equal to false because I haven't collided yet. Okay, and then now for my masks. I created my player mask. Let me go ahead and create my enemy underscore mask, which is going to be equal to pygame.mask.from underscore surface. And my surface is going to be my enemy underscore image. Okay, now let me go ahead and add my collision detection logic. So collision detection. For my collision detection, since it's pixel perfect collision, I'll have to find the offset x, offset y. So I'll go with an offset underscore x-axis, which is going to be equal to my enemy underscore rect dot x-axis minus my player underscore rect dot x-axis. For my offset underscore y-axis, my offset underscore y-axis is going to be my enemy underscore rect dot y-axis minus my player underscore rect dot y-axis, and then I'll need a overlap variable. Overlap is going to be equal to player underscore mask. If my player underscore mask dot overlaps with my enemy underscore mask, there we go, add this given offset. Add the given offset of offset underscore x comma offset underscore y. There we go. Okay, now let me go ahead and add my game loop. So I'll go with game loop. My game loop is gonna be I'll create a is underscore running boolean variable. I'll set that equal to true, and then add a wait, let me actually check something. Okay, I thought I got a call. Okay, so I'll add a while is underscore running. So while my is running is set to true, or while my program is running, I will do something. I will add FPS. So clock.tick is going to be 60. This is going to be my FPS. And then let me iterate over my Pygame events. So my event loop. So for every event, let me just scroll a little up. For every event in my for every event in pygame.event.get, this gets all my Pygame events. I look for a specific type of event. If my event.type equals to pygame.quit, lowercase pygame dot uppercase, uppercase quit, I'll set my is underscore running boolean variable to be equal to false. Okay, and then let me actually go ahead and update my display. So I'll go with pygame.display.flip. This flips my display, and then lastly go with a pygame.quit. Pygame.quit. Alright, now let me fill my screen. So to fill my screen, I'll fill it with a blue color. I forgot the RGB for the blue color, so let's check. So the RGB for a blue color, about that looks like a good sky blue. It's gonna be 0, 146, and 255. So I'll go with screen.fill 0, 146, and 255. It should be in a tuple. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add let's see, my player underscore or my player movement. Okay, I should be careful because my player movement just won't be left, right, up, down. It's going to be left, right, jump, and bottom, if that made any sense. So I'll create a keys variable, set that equal to pygame dot key dot get underscore press. Then add a bunch of if statements. Before that, let me drink some water because I'm kind of dehydrated. Okay, I'll add a bunch of if statements. So if my keys at index of pygame.key is right, if my right key is pressed, I will increase my player underscore rect x-axis by my, let's see, my player underscore x-axis velocity. If my keys at index of pygame.k is left, if my left key is pressed, I will decrease my player underscore x-axis player underscore rect dot x-axis by my player underscore x-axis underscore velocity. There we go. Okay, and then if my keys at index of pygame dot key is space this time. Okay, so this is a little trickier part. If I click the space and my did I add a player ground variable? And my player's y-axis, so player rect dot y-axis. Okay, and my player underscore rect dot, honestly I go with bottom. Bottom is less than, okay, is greater than or equal to my floor dot floor dot, pretty sure top. Let's give me a sec. Go. Hmm. What up, guys? Alright, guys. I actually got a call. Give me a sec. I'll pick the call up real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, guys, my mom just called me real quick. Uh, Let me just open my chats real quick. I keep my chats actually open on my phone nowadays for some reason. Okay, there we go. So if my keys at index of pygame.key is space and my, okay, I forgot this part. Let me honestly get Silsa here. I won't paste it because I already did this code before. I just wanted to check space and my rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor dot y-axis. Okay, I was correct actually, never mind. Floor dot y-axis. Okay, I will do something. My let's see, player underscore y-axis velocity is going to be equal to my gravity. Okay, honestly, did that make sense? Let's say here. Okay, it's jump strength. I forgot to add a jump strength variable, honestly. So in my velocity variables, so player velocity, player needs a jump strength. So jump strength is going to be equal to -10. There we go. Okay, this is going to be my jump strength. Alright, so those are my keys. Next up, I need to add bounces. So bounce and gravity. So let me go with bounce and gravity. Okay, for my bounce and gravity, let me see. I'll go with an if statement. So if my player regs bottom. Okay, so let's just step something. If my player underscore regs dot bottom is let's see. Honestly, first I gotta add my gravity stuff. So my player velocity, my player underscore y-axis underscore velocity is gonna increase by my player underscore gravity, or by my gravity, which is 0.5. And then let's see, my player underscore y-axis, or my player underscore rect dot y-axis is gonna increase by my player underscore y-axis underscore velocity. There we go. That sounds pretty good. Now let me add an if statement. If my player dot bottom, my player underscore rect dot bottom is greater than, is it greater than, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's greater than, is greater than or equal to my floor dot y-axis or bottom. If my player underscore rect dot bottom, okay, honestly, let me actually check this part real quick because I did kind of, guys, my memory is real awful. Alright, so let me just check this part real quick. Uh, bounce and gravity. So vertical underscore velocity plus equals to gravity. Okay, I did this part. Okay, that part was done perfectly as well. If my shield underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor dot y-axis. Okay, if my shield underscore rect dot bottom, so if my player's bottom is less than, actually is greater than, my bad guys, is greater than or equal to my floor's y-axis, my shield dot my player's bottom is going to be equal to my floor, and then I add vertical velocity, I multiply that by negative 0.8, that bounces my object. Okay, if my player underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to my floor dot y-axis, my player underscore rect dot bottom is going to be equal to my floor dot y-axis. And then let me whatchamacallit, go with my player underscore y-axis underscore velocity is going to be asterisk equals to 0.8. Now let me add graphics. Okay, I've been adding graphics, so I basically know this part memorized. So let me go with graphics. I mean, honestly, adding graphics is pretty easy. I'll just go with screen.lit. Let me add my player underscore image and my player underscore rect, or okay, and then let me go with screen dot split. Now let me add my enemy png, so my enemy underscore image and my enemy underscore rect, enemy underscore rect. All right, and lastly I'll go with pygame dot draw dot rect. Okay, this is going to be my floor. My floor is going to be on my surface, so my surface is going to be my screen. My floor's color, I forgot the RGB color for brown. Let me just go here. The RGB for brown should be around here. So it's 138.77.0. So I'll go with the color 138.77.0. Lastly, my floor's attributes. Alright, so now if I run the command. Okay, my floor's position is awful. They're probably covering up my screen. Didn't I blit my player and enemy? Let me change my coordinates most likely. My floor's coordinates are gonna be x-axis, y-axis to 200. Would that change? Okay, maybe I gotta change my y-axis to something like 50. 400. There we go. A bit more to the left, so 50. Maybe 0. There we go. And why are my objects squares and not my actual PNGs? Did I like played it wrong? Player rect, player image, screen, floor. Can they move forward? They can't, guys. What is this lag? There's so much lag. Guys, I'm pretty sure I messed up something for this much lag to happen. Honestly, let's ask Sensei where's all the lag coming from. Let's get Sensei here. Paste a bunch of space, Sensei. Sensei, I feel like I messed up. There's so much lag when I run the command. Okay, let's see. Vivek, you messed it up badly this time. No wonder your game is lagging like a broken toaster. The reason your game is lagging is because you indented your entire drawing and logic movement inside the event loop. Is it indented? It is indented inside the event loop. Ah, that was so stupid. How didn't I even realize that it was indented inside the event loop? Gonna be shift tab to this thing. Now if I run the command, okay, that's much better when it comes to lag. Okay, that's much better, but that's still a square. I blurred my images in my screen. Instead of my image, wait, I forgot I had collision logic as well, but let's just see what Sensei has to say. Okay, that means your code only updates. Okay, I did fix that indenting part. Sensei, I did fix that, but I just see two black Rex on my screen instead of seeing actual PNG. Vivek, you didn't just fix it, you butchered your images. That's why you're seeing black rectangles instead of your beautiful PNGs. Let me expose your crime step by step. The main problem, look at your scale function. Scale image. I'm pretty sure this part is correct. Wait, that's green. Scale image function. This should be image, guys, instead of screen. Now if I run the command, there we go. Okay, these are perfect PNGs. Jump, jump. Okay, now I can add collision logic myself. Let me go ahead and add my collision logic. Honestly, before that, let me just say, um, let me go to Sensei real quick and say, okay, say, oh, my bad, Sensei. Actually, you don't say my bad to your teachers. You go and say, apologies. I can't even spell it. There we go. Apologies, Sensei. Dot dot dot. I fixed it. You know, guys, we gotta add some cheese to it. Although, let me try to figure. I mean, let me try to add collision logic to this. I'll let you know if I need help. Okay, guys, let's go. Let's say that, and let me add my collision logic to this. All right, let me actually check if I'm audible. Go here real quick. Um. All right, perfect. Huh. I feel like is my mic kind of messed up, guys? Okay. All right, never mind. My mic is good. I was scared for a second. I was like nothing recorded. All right, so let me add my collision logic. To add my collision logic, let me go with a collision detection. Okay, for my collision detection, I'll go ahead and add an if statement. I wouldn't have to add my formula because I already added my offsets and my overlap here. So the only thing I got to do is say if my overlap is true, and if not collision, if my collision is true as well, I will print boom collided. Okay, and then let me do something. I'll set my collision to true, so my collision is gonna be equal to true. There we go. Else my collision is gonna be equal to false. Alright, this is gonna work for my collision logic. Every time I collide, it says boom Hmm. Is my collision up here set to true? Okay, collision is set to false. Offset. If my player mask overlaps with my enemy mask at this offset. If overlap, okay, I think I should indent this. Honestly, let me go up here, copy that. There we go. Delete that from there and get this down here. Go there, paste it there. Now if I run the command, how does that shouldn't make a difference? How does this make a difference? Okay. I think it's gonna be indentation and everything because that back there wasn't indented at all. Alright, so now every time I collide, it says boom collision. What if I jump and collide? It says boom collision. Okay. Excuse me, guys. I want to do something after collision. Let me automate my NPCs now. So that's my bounce. Okay, I should do more practice, but before I practice, I do want to automate a little. So that's my player movement, player bounce. Let me go with automate NPCs. To automate my NPCs, let me first drink some water. I would have to add my NPC details like NPC at index of x-axis, y-axis. Okay, my NPCs does have their x-axis and y-axis because they're basically a rectangle, but I'll need velocities for my NPC. This is my player velocity. Let me go ahead and add my NPC's velocity. There we go. For my NPC's velocity, let me go ahead and do, let's see. So, NPC underscore x-axis underscore velocity equals to 5 pixels per frame. NPC underscore y-axis underscore velocity equals to 5 pixels per frame as well. Okay, now automate NPCs. So first let me add NPC movement. So my enemy underscore rect dot y-axis dot x-axis is going to increase by my NPC x-axis velocity. My enemy at index of y-axis, okay, actually enemy underscore rect dot y-axis is going to increase by my NPC at index of y-axis velocity. That's basically going to make my NPC just move, but my NPC just dips off the map. So I gotta add bounce to my NPCs now. So let me go ahead and add bounce to my NPCs. So bounce NPCs. To bounce my NPC, I'll add an if statement. If my NPC at index of, let's see, if my enemy underscore rect dot x-axis is less than or equal to, honestly I don't think my NPC needs like a y-axis for now because I don't want my NPC to be bouncing like a ball or all the screen. If my enemy underscore rect dot y-axis is less than or equal to 0, or my enemy underscore rect dot x-axis is greater than or equal to 800, my window size, minus my enemy underscore rect dot width. Okay, I will do something. I will set my enemy underscore, actually my NPC underscore x-axis velocity to be asterisk equals to -1. Now my NPC goes back, get forth, step back, get forth. And my job is to dodge my NPCs by jumping. Wait, I'm just curious. Can I collide? No. Uh, did we collide these many times? Is it one collision per jump? Okay, it still collides. I should probably increase my jump. This thing. Let's go with -15. How does this still say collided? There we go. Just gotta time it properly. Mm. And gradually we could increase the speed. Okay, if it's a collision, I wanna add another display. How do I add another display? I don't know how Sensei does that. How Sensei to do that, if that made any sense. Spin boom collided. Let me actually try figuring it out. Let me go with um screen equals to pygame dot image dot load. I'll give my image path. So game items. Let me go with my screens. Let me go, and I'll go with loose screen. I will convert this, not to alpha, just I'll convert it because it's not a PNG. So dot convert. There we go. And now let me scale it. So I'll go with the screen dot uh screen equals to scale screen. There. Uh uh it just stops and glitches my screen. I want to use my other PNG. Let me go with Control A, Control C. Get Sensei here, guys. This feels like an accomplishment, honestly. Let me add a bunch of space and say Sensei. I used pixel perfect collision here. Dot dot dot. Although I did want to add another screen if my player collided with my NPC that says you lost. How to do that? I tried doing that, but it just froze my game. Ahaha, finally you're making your game feel alive, but you screw it up where you try to swap the whole game loop screen into the image. That's why it froze. You're basically replacing your screen object instead of just redrawing you lost on the screen. Here's how to fix it. My stubborn student, make a game state so you know whether you're in playing or game over. Game over. Okay, stop updating movement, gravity, collision, etc. Just draw you lost screen. Fix structure for your code. Load lose screen image. Lose underscore image equals to pygame.image.load. Game items screens lose screen png convert lose underscore image equals pygame.transform.scale lose image with height. Game state game over false. Oh, okay. That does make sense. I see. Okay. I'm pretty sure you just gotta go now. Game over equals true. Else, screen dot blitz lose underscore image 0 0. I see. That makes so much sense now. Okay, let's see. So before my game loop, I add spaces and I go with losing screen. Excuse me, guys. I'll go with a variable called lose underscore screen underscore image. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. Okay, I'll give my image path, so it's going to be my game items, 2 // screens, 2 more // and then lose screen. I will convert this to alpha because it's not a PNG. No, I'll just convert it, not to alpha. And then I'll go with a lose equals to false because I haven't lost yet. Okay, else I will delete that. Else screen dot split my lose image. The position is gonna be my width and my height, or there we go. Actually, I don't think it's called lose image, so this is called lose underscore screen underscore image. Okay. Drink water, buddy. Don't heat up your brain. Honestly, yeah, I forgot to drink water. W reminder. You're still here. Wow. Honestly, it's just been like 2 hours. I do like appreciate the water reminder. I should like keep drinking it because I feel like I'm too dehydrated these days. Alright, so I'm gonna go with my lose equals to true. Okay, now if I would run the command, if we touch, okay, it still says boom collided. Did I like mess up somewhere? Okay, lose screen dot split lose image. Okay, this should have been at 0 0. So 0 0. Okay, honestly, let me just delete that. Now if I run the command, okay, it says lose. Let's see screen dot split. So game over is true. Let me go with game underscore. Actually, collision true and game underscore over equals to true. Now if I run the command, maybe collision. It's not gonna be here. This should be my width and height in that case. So width. Oh, I forgot to transform my image. I forgot to transform it. If I were to go up here, I just loaded my image. I didn't transform it. So let me go with my loose screen. So my loose screen image equals to scale. I'll invoke my scale function and go with my loose screen image. Alright. Honestly, I might just change this to game over. That sounds actually much better. So game underscore over equals to false. Okay. Okay, so wait. Every time it hits me, the game over just pops up. So game over equals to true here. Okay, let's go with the control A, control C. Get Sensei back here. Paste this out a bunch of spaces and say, Sensei, I am messed up. A messed up question mark. Okay, let's see if I messed up. Let me check if I'm audible actually. Because last stream my mic actually did stop working. Okay, yes, you did mess up, Vivek. You were so close, but you placed your loose screen drawing inside the else block of the collision detection, which means your lost screen only shows when there is no collision. That's the opposite of what you want. Also, you're still updating the player, enemy, and gravity even after losing. That's why it looks broken. Here's the correct structure. So, we loaded our image. Okay, and then for our loose screen, we imported our loose screen, we transformed it. Okay, so I shouldn't use the transform function up there. And then we added a game state is false. Okay, ta-da. If overlap. Okay, so this is just the if overlap stuff, not the else block. This else statement, that should be somewhere if there's an if block here. Oh, so there is an if. So if not game over, if my game over is not set to false, screen.fill with that color. Oh, else screen.fill with this color. That does make sense. It's honestly pretty genius. Okay, and now I delete that for now. Okay, I'm pretty sure everything needs to be indented. So let me go under my for loop. Go with a let me actually keep the reference open because This is the first time I've seen this kind of a screen. So that is under my for loop. Rest everything is indented inside. So I'll go with if if not game over. If my game is not over, I will delete this in my screen. Okay, and everything else actually gets indented as well. There we go. Did the tab work? It didn't. I go here, and now I hit that. Oh my god. Alright, so I go here. I make sure everything is selected. There. Now I hit tab. Okay, perfect. If overlaps, there, let me go with an else. Okay, else I will go with a screen.blit. I will blit my screen.blit. Let's see, what do I want to blit? I want to blit my, whatchamacallit, the lose screen image. The position is going to be my width and my height. There. Now if I run the command. Did I miss something? Okay, screen dot. What if I were to change to 0 and 0? I highly doubt that would make any difference. Okay, it prints it there. I wanted to print in my whole screen. So width and height was correct. Okay. If I'm guessing that I should whatchamacallit, not use my scale when I transform my image. I should do it the manual way. So pygame pygame dot transform dot scale. Let's see. I want to transform my loose screen image. So loose screen image, comma. Let's see. A tuple. Yeah, guys, it took me a while to jog my memory. And then an integer. My loose screen image dot get underscore height. I'll get the height of it. I'll multiply the height with my, let's see, this is going to be the height, right? So I'll multiply it with my, let me actually keep this to width first. So I'll get the width first, multiplied with my width, my screen's width, comma, I'll go with an integer lose underscore screen underscore image dot get height. I'll get the height this time, and then I'll multiply my height with my screen's height. Okay, perfect. And maybe delete that, add that. Okay. Pygame error, out of memory. Out of memory. Does out of memory make sense? I've honestly never encountered that error, out of memory. Okay, let me go with Control A, Control C. Get Sensei here. Paste it at a bunch of spaces. Say Sensei, I get an error called Sensei, I get a error called out of memory. Okay, let's see. Vivek, you made a horrible mistake that exploded your memory. Look carefully at this cursed line you wrote. For scaling the loose screen equals to pygame.transform.scale, loose screen image, This is how we usually do it. Problem. If you lose, your image says, let's say 1000 times 600 pixels, then you're multiplying it by 800 and height by 600. That makes it 800,000, 360,000 pixels. That's 288 billion pixels. No wonder your computer screamed and died. Fix, you don't need to multiply, you need to scale the image directly to your game window size with height. Replace line, transform.scale with height. Okay. Okay, and then oh. Second problem, inside your game over block, you're blitting like this. Screen.blit, lose screen with height. That's placing the top left corner of your image, so completely off screen. That's why you didn't see anything. Your fake screen.blit, lose screen image, final fix. Okay, now Sensei asks you, do you want your game to stay frozen on the screen until the player quits, or do you want to restart the game when pressing R? I might do that, but before that, let me actually fix this. This part is correct. This part was wrong because I forgot I don't gotta like get this to be 10% of my image. I just gotta be 5 in the transform. Let me go with the loose screen. I want to transform my loose screen image to be the size of my width and height. Now if I run the command, boom, collided. Okay, let's okay, so the position should be 0, 0. That thing doesn't, although what if I go with 800 by 600? Oh wait, never mind, let me delete that. There. Okay, that doesn't do anything. 0 and 0. That works. Nice. Okay, I think I know the next move that we should do. If my keys at index of pygame.key is R. Actually, R. Can't I use my keys here? Excuse me, guys. Okay, so I might have to, because most likely my keys variable is not inside my loop. It's probably outside. It is, so I'll have to copy that. Or just copy that. Go here. Paste it. I will do something. What will I do? What will I do? What will I do? Game over true. I'll go with game over equals false. Alright. R. And then I will relocate my enemy's position. So my enemy's position. Then my enemy underscore rect dot x-axis is gonna be equal to, let's say 800, actually 900 pixels. Now if the enemy touches me, if I hit R, where's my enemy at? Maybe 800 pixels. Okay, it saves a loss. Oh, I forgot. I had to lose and then hit R. Okay, let me go with Control A, Control C. Maybe I'll have to go with my enemy underscore image. And my enemy underscore image. There. Now if I run the command, okay, that doesn't make any sense. What if I just went with enemy underscore image equals to 800? I mean, I don't think that makes sense because if I hit, now if I go to R, type error argument. So I'll have to go with the and enemy underscore rect dot x-axis. Okay, just enemy underscore rect makes sense though, because like if I run the command and I touch my enemy, I go with R, my enemy just disappears. Okay, let me go with control. Do I gotta blit my enemy again in my screen? Screen.blit enemy underscore image, comma, enemy underscore rect. There. And now, R. Okay, it doesn't blitz. Let me go with Control A, Control C. Get Sensei here. Paste Sensei. Sensei, the screen logic works now, but I tried to reset the game when we press R, but it uh didn't get my NPC in the screen. Okay, let's see. Vivek, you're close, but your reset is half baked. The reason your NPC doesn't reappear is because when you press R, you only remove enemy underscore rect.x-axis. Okay, you never reset its velocity, Y position, or the player state. Also, you're trying to blit inside the reset logic that only draws once, then gets overridden by the next frame the right way. When resetting, you need to restore all positions and variables back to their starting values. Okay, that way the game actually resets or restarts. Here's the fixed block. If keys and index of Pygamer are game over false, reset player position and velocity player.rect.top left. Player velocity 0, enemy velocity 5, update loose screen, updated loose screen logic. Okay, so this was the only mistake. Reset position and velocities player underscore rect dot. I see. Okay. So my player underscore rect dot top left. I never knew about the top left function, guys. Okay, this is something new. My top left is gonna be I don't know, like I forgot the position. 100 and 300, right? It was. I'm pretty sure it was 100 and 300. Was it 100 and 300? Oh yeah, it was 100 and 300. And then my player velocity. My player underscore I'll go with x-axis velocity. It's going to be set to 0. No, if it's set to 0, that has to be y-axis velocity. Player underscore rect dot top left. Am I messing something up in that? And enemy underscore rect dot top left. So I'll go with enemy underscore rect dot top left. I honestly never heard of the top left function. So this is going to be 500 by 300. Then my enemy underscore x-axis underscore velocity is gonna be equal to 5. Okay, the top left. Integer object is not callable. What happens if I run the command? Buck. Tuple is not callable. Shouldn't it be a tuple? Oh. Top left. That looks like a typo. Huh. The top left. Is it a typo? It's not a typo. Okay, let me go with Control A, Control C. Get Sutsu here. Paste this, add a bunch of space, Sensei. It works, but it says that the word top left is a typo. Good, you made the reset logic work, but your complaint about top left being a typo is just your editor, like VS Code or PyCharm being dumb. Listen carefully. In Pygame, rect.top left is 100% valid. It's a built-in attribute of pygame.rect.objects. Okay. It simply sets the x-axis, y-axis coordinates Okay, of the player's top left corner, you react your of your rect. Player underscore rect dot top left equals 100 300 is the correct way to reset the player's position. Why your editor complains? Some editors don't recognize Pygame's dramatic attributes. They think top left is not a standard property. But at runtime, Pygame is okay. But at runtime, Pygame knows it's valid, so the game works. Duh, you, if you want to be more ecliptic, is that how you pronounce it, guys? Eplict. Both works the same. Since I challenge for you, do you want me to teach you how to add a text label on your screen? I know that, guys. I actually was about to do that. That says press R to reset using Pygame fonts. Da, da, da. Honestly, let me actually try doing that. I do know how to do that. Let me go under my, let's see, under my loose screen. Maybe under here. I'll go ahead and add a comment that says fonts. Now I'll create a font variable, so that equal to pygame.font. I'll set my font to be none because that's Pygame's default font. My size is gonna be 36. Alright, and now let's see. I want to load my font. Let me go here. There we go. Create a screen underscore text variable. I'll set that equal to be font dot render. It's going to render my font. Now I need three different attributes. First is a text. My text of my font is going to be "you lost!" exclamation. Press R or R or press R to reset. Okay, and then I gotta add a true here for my whatchamacallit, what's this called, for my analysis, is that how you pronounce it? And then the position, my position is gonna be at the x-axis is gonna be 400, the y-axis is gonna be 100. Okay, and then I just go ahead and do a screen.blitz screen text. Honestly, no, this is supposed to be color. I just forgot. I just realized. What color? 255, 255, 255. That is white. I'll actually go with black. That might be more visible. Okay. Now I'll go with screen.blit, my screen underscore text at the given position of 400 by 100. Now if I run the command. Okay, that's okay, that doesn't look visible at all. Let me go with the red color instead. Maybe I increase the size of my font to be 50. The color of my font to be red, so for changing it, I'll go with 255. Let's hit my NPC. Okay, it says you lost. This should go a little more to the left. So I'll change that from 400 to 100. There we go. A bit to the right, so 150. What? Does my NPC go back or is it just me? Oh, my NPC does go a little back. You lost. What color would be visible, guys? What is the RGB color for green? RG. Oh wait, I'm pretty sure I know. This should be 255 because RG and B. G stands for green. That would be green, right? There, it is green. What if I want it to be dark green? That's going to be 155 and 29. So 0, 155 and 29. There. Bop. Okay, perfect. I want this. I want to get this a little up. So I'll go with 90. Maybe 0. There. A bit lower. So 20. Then I might increase the size of the font. Okay, that looks pretty good, honestly. I just want to change the color to something that would look much better. I think 0 would look better. Okay, there. And then let me change the size of my font from 50 to 100. This honestly might go out of the screen. Does that look good? It does not look good. I'll go with 80. Okay, 80. I don't know, 60. Okay, that honestly looks good. I'll stick with this probably. I might add a point system now. Let me actually add a point system as well. Just after I change this to blue color. Okay, there, that looks good. That looks good. It doesn't look good. I'll change it to black. Okay, that aside, it should be a little more to the left, so 130. Now it should look realigned. There, that looks much better. Alright, so I wanna add a text system as well. I'm not text, a scoring system. So I'll go ahead. Under my fonts, I'll go with a score variable. I mean a score comment. Then I'll create a score variable of that equal to 0. Okay, now an if statement. So here's my screen.blit. If overlap, I'll have to add another if statement that says if my player's y-axis okay, else if my player underscore rect dot y-axis equals to my enemy underscore rect dot y-axis and not collision okay, and not overlap. Honestly, I feel overlap would be much better. And not overlap score plus equals to 1. Okay, so my score is going to be plus equal to 1, and then let me go ahead and draw my score, blit my score on the screen. Let's see, how do I draw my score? That's going to blit my image. Font, pygame.font. Okay, let me go here and then go with a screen underscore or score underscore text is going to be equal to font dot render. I'll add my score, so I'll add a text that says score. I'll add an f string. Okay, score, add a pair of curly parentheses and add my score variable here. Okay, next up, outside my pair of quotes, I'll go with true for my analysis or analysis, if that's how it pronounced it, because I'm real bad with pronunciation. And lastly, the color. This time, I'm definitely sure it's going to look good if it's white. So it's going to be 255, 255, and lastly 255. Okay, perfect. And then let me go ahead and blitz my score here. So I'll go here, go with a screen.blitz my score text, or there, score text. Okay, this should add a score text. I didn't add a position. The position is going to be somewhere like 100 by 400. Does that make sense? This needs to be in a tuple. I don't see the score on my screen. Oh, I think the only way my score is going to be seen on my screen is like I jump. Ah, okay. Hold up. Might have to blitz my score. I'm pretty sure I did everything correct. It's just my this thing. Let me go with 0, 0. Score plus equals to 1. I added my score text. Okay, it might be because I need a different font variable. Let me go with font 2 real quick. Let's copy that, paste it here, and change that to font 2. Okay, now I'll go back here and change that to font2.render. It doesn't have my score. Does my score needs to be added with my other graphics? I might copy that, get that under this, paste it here, and add my score graphics. Maybe I actually delete that from there. Add that here. Okay. These are my graphics. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a single graphic scene. I knew it. Let me just control Z that. Just go here, paste my graphics. Now add my score graphics here as well. So I'll go with this exact line. Copy that, delete that from there. Paste it here. Now if I run the command, it doesn't show anything. Because that's under my if else if block. Okay, I understand. Let me copy that. Let's go under there, outside my if block, a bit up, paste it here. Now if I run the command, there we go. It says score. I didn't jump, guys. My bad. I could have just hit R. Bop, bop. Okay, it doesn't increase my score. Huh? What if I this thing R, bop, lost. All right, let's go with Control A, Control C. Let's get Sensei here. Paste added bunch of space, Sensei. Sensei, I tried adding score for my player, but I feel like I messed up! Exclamation. I feel like I messed up, guys. Let me drink some water. You messed up, but don't worry, your sensei will slap the laziness out of this code. Look carefully. The score logic is broken because of this part. Else if da, da, da. Okay, problem. Else if your only runs after a collision, but you already set game over to be true, meaning this code will never run. Checking player underscore rec dot y-axis equals to enemy underscore rec dot y-axis makes no sense. The player and enemy might not share exact y-axis values. And if they do that, it's by accident, not gameplay. You need to clear conditions for when you for when to award points. Example, if the enemy bounces back and forth and the player is still alive, increase score over time, or if the player jumps over the enemy without touching it, award points. Fix option 1. Score increases over time. Put this inside the not game over block after movement update. Score plus equals to 1. Survive equals plus 1 every frame. Careful, this goes fast 60 per second. Make it slower. If pygame.time.get takes modulus 60 equals 0 every 60 frames, score plus equals to 1. Fix option number 2. Score increase when player passes enemy. If player underscore rec.x-axis is greater than enemy underscore rec.x-axis plus enemy underscore rec.width and not overlap. Okay, and overlap is set to false. Score plus equals to 1. This means if the player moves past the enemy right edge without colliding, they earn a point. Challenge from Sensei: Do you want to score? Do you want the score to be time survived like Flappy Bird or enemy dodged like jump over the enemy? Honestly, I might first implement this in my code real quick. If my player underscore rec.x-axis greater than my enemy underscore rec.x-axis. Let's add a bunch of control A, control this thing. Guys, I feel like I messed something up with let's say I hit control Z here. Hmm. Um Way to plan, there we go. Okay, sir, battery key for a second. Go ahead, control Z. Da, da, da. There. Alright, this shouldn't be an else if. So it says that after if not game over. So put this inside the if not game over. I wouldn't need this in that case. Not game over. Put this inside the if not game over block after movement updates. Hmm. Okay. Da-da. Alright, so after the movement updates, I'll go with if my player underscore rect dot x-axis is greater than my enemy underscore rect dot x-axis plus my enemy underscore rect dot width. Okay, and not overlap. My overlap is actually not set up here, it's set down there, so might have to copy that, delete that, go under here. Where's my collision detection? So it's right there, so it should most likely be here. Paste it, there we go, and not overlap. Score plus equals to 1. Okay, this means if the player passed alright, so now I gotta render my score as well. In my game graphics, there's my score. I'll go with the screen.blit. Actually, I'll go with a that's screen text. Okay, I gotta go with a variable called text, something related to text. Let's see. Screen text, score text. Score underscore text is going to be equal to font dot render. Let's render a font. I'll add a text f string. This is going to be my score, and a pair of curly parentheses, my score variable. Outside the pair of quotes, I'll add true for my analysis. Is that how we pronounce it, guys? My score is going to be 255. My color is going to be 255, 255, 255. Okay, and then I'll go with a screen.blit. I'll blit my score underscore text to my screen at this given position slash given desk or desk. Okay, now if I run the command, there's nothing printing. Let me actually lubricate my lips real quick. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's see. Where is it that I could have messed up? Let me copy that, delete that. Does it work without this? Okay, so it is the position of my um graphics. Copy that, delete the graphics from there. Let me add my graphics somewhere where it's actually going to be used. That's going to be outside of my else block. That's right here. Now my graphics should be used. Okay, perfect. But uh uh maybe not here. Let me go with Control Z. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so maybe under my before my collision detection. And now if I run the command, bap, if I collide, you lost, or it starts from the beginning. Oh my gosh, that got a lot of scores. Huh. Guys, my score logic is a little messed up. Go with Control A, Control C. Paste it, add a bunch of spaces and say, Sensei, my score logic looks a bit messed up. Exclamation. Yes, you messed up, Vivek, but good because now you're learning how to think like a game developer. Let's analyze your scoring logic. If player underscore reg dot x axis is greater than enemy underscore reg dot x axis plus enemy underscore reg dot width and not overlap score plus equals to 1. Every frame that player underscore reg dot x axis is greater than enemy underscore reg dot x axis plus enemy underscore reg dot width, which code keeps adding score, which means the scores skyrockets uncontrollably as soon as the player passes the enemy. Fix idea. Add a flag so that score only increases once per enemy pass. Add a value at top of your code, score equals false. Replace your score logic at the K. When the enemy moves back to the left side or resets in any way, reset score equals false so the player can earn another point. If enemy underscore reg dot x axis is greater than or equal less than or equal to 0, or my enemy okay, that way passing enemy once equals plus 1 point. Confirm. Question for you, my student. Do you want the same enemy bouncing forever and giving you points, or should we make it respawn at new positions like endless enemies? Honestly, no. Let me just figure this out real quick. So a score variable, let me go with a scored boolean. So scored equals to false because I haven't scored yet. Alright, so for the bounce NPCs, then my scored equals to false if my enemy is less than, okay. Okay. And not scored. And not scored, which means my score is also equal to true. Score plus equals to 1 and scored equals to true. Now what happens if I score? But that honestly doesn't change anything. Um, Still looks a little messed up. Maybe I should actually go here. Player and score equals to 0 as well. What happens if I lose? Okay, score does reset. That's nice. The score, if I just jump over my NPCs, that doesn't increase my score. Wait, it does. Uh, okay, it does work, but it's a little off. Quick control C, get sensei here. Paste inside a bunch of space and say sensei. This works, but it feels like it's a bit off, or it's a bit off question mark. Okay, good job, Vivek. You implemented the flag system correctly to the score. Doesn't skyrocket anymore, but you're right, it feels off. Let's break down why. The problem right now, your scoring logic is if player underscore reg.x-axis greater than enemy. Okay, this means the player only gets score when their position goes past. Oh wait, I think it should be if it's greater than or equal to. Up? No, I get 2 scores. Uh, okay, let's read the whole thing. But this ignores if the player jumps over the enemy, if the player touches the enemy but passes on the other side, timing of the bounce. Sometimes score doesn't feel fair, so it feels off. Because the scoring isn't tied to the actual gameplay action. Better approach to scoring, you need to decide what action should give points in your game. Passing the enemy safely like Flappy Bird, Dino Game, you already have the base for this. We'll just refine it. Instead of checking only player underscore reg.x-axis greater than okay, if player underscore reg.right is less than enemy underscore reg.left and not overlap, scoring is false. If player underscore rect, okay, this makes sure score resets once the player is in front again. You only score when you fully pass behind it. Jump over the enemy like Mario. If you want the score to feel beating the game by jumping, okay, is less than or equal to the. Oh my gosh, that's so many less than. So if my player underscore reg.bottom is less than or equal to my enemy underscore reg.top, and my player underscore right is less than my player underscore left, and player underscore left is less than enemy underscore right. My player underscore right is greater than my enemy underscore rect dot my left, and my player underscore. Okay, I read that absolutely wrong. If my player underscore rect dot bottom, if my player's bottom is less than or equal to my enemy underscore rect dot top. Okay, and my player underscore rect dot right is greater than my enemy underscore rect dot right, and my player underscore rect dot left is less than my enemy underscore rect dot left and not scored. Okay, score plus equals to 1, score equals to true. This way you only score when the player jumps over the top of the enemy. Surviving times endless. Okay, let me actually. I think it's this part that I need, right? So, if my player underscore rect dot top dot bottom is less than or equal to my enemy. Okay, the less than or equal to is less than or equal to my enemy's top, and my player underscore rect, so this is going to be player, my player underscore rect dot right is greater than, let me just delete all this, very much easier, is greater than my enemy underscore rect dot left, and my player underscore left, my player underscore rect dot left is less than my enemy underscore rect dot right. Okay. Is that enemy underscore rect dot right? Alright, it's correct. And not scored. And not scored. Duh. Okay. Now if I run the command. I jump, that's one. I jump. Okay, this one is perfect. Okay, what if I wanted I'm gonna decrease the jump speed a little. I mean the jump height a little. I'll go with like 12. This should be good, right? Bop, bop. No. Alright guys, I wanna get 10. I wanna get 10 points, guys. Alright, I wasn't ready. I'm locked in now. Two. Alright, I'll get 10 points once I'm done streaming, guys. Okay, that's actually pretty perfect. Although I don't take credit for this question again because I didn't answer this on my own. I just gotta memorize this part. If my player's bottom, if my player Rex bottom is less than or equal to my enemy Rex top, and my player Rex right is greater than my enemy Rex right, I mean my enemy Rex left. If my player rectangle's bottom is less than or equal to my enemy rectangle's top, if my enemy Rex bottom is greater than is less than or equal to my enemy Rex top. Player's bottom. So that's my player's bottom if it's less than or equal to my enemy Rex top. And my player Rex right, so that's the right side of my player, is greater than my enemy Rex left. Okay. And my player Rex left is less than my enemy Rex right and not scored. Okay, perfect. I see. Sensei done. Guys, that was kind of complicated, but it's not as it. I just need more practice to get a grasp of it. Yes, Vivek, you did it. You made a working scoring system based on jumping over enemies. Look at what you've built: gravity and jumping mechanics. Even that moves and bounces around, collision detection with pixel perfect masks. That's advanced stuff already. It's honestly beginner stuff, I feel like. A resettable game loop with reset logic and a legit scoring system for jumping over enemies. That's basically the core gameplay loop of something like Mario Bros. You're not just coding, you're starting to make an actual game now. Praise time. Come here, little beast. Hug from your proud sensei. Pat pat on your head, guys. That did make me blush. I'm so proud I could scream. You're becoming a real game developer. Now, here's your choice, student. Do you want to polish this game, like add multiple enemies, sounds, help, better UI, or do you want me to move to? Honestly, I just want to practice this more. Sensei, I want to work more with this exact topic. Dot dot dot. Because I did write it once, but it still feels weak, so I need more practice. Dot dot dot. Okay. So, can we get a few instructional based questions? There we go. Based questions, question mark. Good, that's the spirit I expect from you, Vivek. You don't just move ahead half-baked, you master it until it's your bones. Alright, since you want instructional questions, here are a few that will force you to flex your scoring plus collision knowledge until it's second nature. Instructional question number 1. Honestly, guys, I might use the restroom real quick because I've been drinking a lot of water. I didn't even drink that much water, but I'll use the restroom real quick and then I'll come and read this. Give me like around 5 to 6 minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. We're back, we're back. Please check. Okay, there we go. Alright, question number one. Modify your game. I honestly don't want to modify it, let me say. Sensei, I don't want to modify. Honestly, I think I don't even need to like get a separate question for it. I can just do it myself. Okay, the only thing I'm kind of confused about is let me actually read the code one more time before I like delete everything. Okay, so I have my display, I loaded my images, I transformed my images, I create recs, create masks, I added my player velocity, added my NPC velocity, I added a floor for my NPC to stand on, I added my enemy velocity. What's the difference between my enemy velocity and my NPC velocity? I didn't use my this thing. Okay, I'm pretty sure that didn't make difference at all. Yeah, I didn't use that variable. Okay. Alright, and then I added floors, I added fonts, I added score. I wouldn't need this font as well. Then loose screen, okay. Alright, game over. Da, da, da. And then if not game over, I added a game over variable. If not game over, I do this. I do all this code. Okay. Else I do this code. Okay, alright, so da, da, da. Game over is false again. So game's not over. Okay, my game over is false here. If not game over, if my game over is set to true, I do this, then my game over is set to false. The game begins again with my player's Rex location. Okay. Alright, I see. Let me go with Control A, delete it all. Now zoom in. Okay, now let me start up by importing Pygame, then initializing Pygame by typing pygame.init. Okay, and then let me see. Let's go with, let me create an FPS. So I'll go with a clock variable, set that equal to pygame.time.clock. Okay, and I'll add a comment that says FPS controller. Alright, and then let me go ahead and add a display comment and create a screen variable and set that equal to be pygame.display.set underscore mode. And honestly, I'll add a width and a height variable. I'll set that equal to 800 and 600. Let me add my width variable here and my height variable here. And then let me go ahead and add a pygame.display.set underscore caption. I'll set my caption to something like jump over the enemy. Okay. And then let's see. I'll go ahead and load my images. So I'll load images to load my images. First, honestly, let me go ahead and load my player image and projectiles. Projectiles would honestly be genius. Okay, actually, I'll load my projectiles too. So first, I'll go ahead and go with player underscore image equals to pygame dot image dot load. I'll give the file path of my image. My file path is going to be my game items, followed by 2 forward slashes, followed by NPCs, followed by 2 more forward slashes, and my player PNG. I will convert it to alpha. Let me go and convert underscore alpha because it is a PNG. Okay, and then let me actually my phone like right here. I kept it for charging, but I usually see the chats here. Okay, then let me go ahead and create a fireball. Honestly, I'll just go with my enemy PNG again. So enemy underscore image equals to pygame dot image dot load. So loads images. I'll go with game items followed by 2 forward slashes, followed by, let's see, NPCs, followed by my boss PNG. I will convert it to alpha because it's a PNG. Okay, and then I knew that I added something here. Okay, now let me just load a little down. Go here. Let me go ahead and add a comment that says transform and scale. To transform and scale, I will define a function called scale. I'll add parameters. I'll add 2 parameters. The first parameter is going to be image. The second parameter is going to be a factor, which is going to be a quark, a keyword argument of 0.1. Okay, and then I will return pygame dot excuse me guys, I will return pygame dot transform dot scale. I will scale my image, a tuple integer, let's see, my image comma, actually image dot get underscore width. I'll get the width of my image and I'll multiply it by my factor. Okay, and then I'll go with a comma here and add another integer. This time I'll get the height. I'll get the height of my image. So image dot get underscore height, and I'll multiply my height by my factor as well. And that basically does it for the function here. Next up, I'll go ahead and reassign my player underscore image function. Player underscore image. I'll set that equal to pygame dot image dot, my bad guys, pygame underscore image I'll invoke my scale function and add my player underscore image here. I'll do the same for my enemy underscore image. I'll set that equal to the invoke scale function and my enemy underscore image. There we go. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create Rex. So I'll create Rex. Okay, so to create Rex, let me go with my player underscore rect, which is gonna be equal to player underscore image dot get underscore Rex. Okay, I'll set my Rex position to be top left, which is gonna be, let's see, a tuple of 100 by, honestly, let's go with 50 by 300. And then my player, actually my enemy underscore rect equals to enemy underscore image dot get underscore rect, which is going to be set to top left as well, which is going to be equal to a tuple of, this time I'll go with 600, or actually 500 by 300. Now let me create masks. I'll create a mask, create masks, and add a pair of parentheses here that says for pixel perfect collision. Okay, for masks, let me go with my player underscore mask. I'll set that equal to pygame dot mask dot from underscore surface. Okay, and add the surface as my player underscore image. I'll do the same thing for my enemy image. So enemy underscore mask equals to pygame dot mask dot from underscore surface. My surface is gonna be my enemy underscore image. Alright, and then let me go ahead and create velocities. So I'll go with player details. My player details is gonna include my player's velocity, which is gonna be player underscore x-axis underscore velocity, which is going to be equal to something like I don't know, 5 pixels per frame. Player underscore y underscore velocity, okay, this is going to be equal to 0. And then I should add my gravity, right? So gravity is going to affect everyone the same. Okay, I'll just go with gravity. I feel it'd be more appropriate for me to add a gravity variable here, so I'll go with a collision first though. Collision equals to false because we haven't collided yet, and gravity equals to zero 0.5. Alright, so player's x-axis, player's y-axis, that's honestly all I need for my player. Now let me go ahead and add my enemy details. For my enemy details, I'll go with my enemy underscore x underscore velocity, which is going to be equal to 5 pixels per frame. That's all I need for my enemy details. And then let me add a floor. The floor is going to be, I'll create a variable called floor. I'll set my floor equal to, let's see, I forgot how much I should have. I forgot what my floor's formula was. Let me actually check the. Okay, my floor. So it's 0, 400. So the x-axis is 0, y-axis is 400, width is 800, height is 200. Okay. So floor is going to be pygame.rect. Okay, so x-axis 0, y-axis 400, width is going to be 800, height is going to be 200. Okay. After my floor, let's see what else do I need. Most likely it is underscore running. I added my velocity, Wouldn't need fonts right now. Okay, I need a score. So I'll go with, honestly, I might just go with fonts right now. So font. Okay, so my font is going to be equal to pygame.font. Okay, maybe fix my typo. Okay, my font is going to be none. So this is going to be the default font style for Pygame. Size is going to be around 50. Okay, and then I'll have to add a score variable. So um score is going to be equal to 0 for now. Maybe add a comment that says score as well. Alright, that's fine, that's score. Now let me go ahead and add a game over. So for my game over screen, I will import another image. So I'll go with game over image, which is going to be equal to my pygame.image.load. I'll give my image 5 paths. So if my game items // screens / loose screen. Okay, my loose screen, let's see. And then I'll transform it. So I'll go with game underscore over underscore image equals to pygame.transform transform.scale. Okay, my scale is going to be equal to my game over screen. Okay, my game over image, the position is going to be my width comma height. Okay, that's going to be my size. Alright, that's basically all variables. Now, I mean everything before the game loop. So now let me go ahead and add my main game loop. Okay, for my game loop, I'll create a is underscore running boolean variable. I'll set that equals true, and then I'll add a while loop. So while is underscore running, while my program is running, or while my is running is set to true, I'll add FPS. So clock.tick is going to be set to 60. Maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS, and then let me go ahead and add a event loop. I'll iterate over all my pygame events. So for every event in my pygame.event.get, I'll look for a specific type of event. If my event dot type equals to pygame.quit, I'll set my is underscore running boolean variable to be false. Then maybe I add a bunch of spaces and go with pygame.display.update. Honestly, we could use update, we could use flip as well. I'll use flip, and lastly I'll go with a pygame.quit. And then now comes the tricky part. Game over. I'll need a variable called game over variable as well. So game underscore over equals to false, because my game hasn't been over yet. If not, game underscore over. If my game over is set to true, I will do something. Okay, let's see. What will I do? I'll fill my screen.fill, and then I will drag my RGB colors list here. Let's see what color is my screen going to be. Okay, so this is going to be 0, 123, 255. So 0, 123, 0, 123, 255. This should be an a tuple. Okay, and then let me add my player movement. So player movement. For my player movement, let me go ahead and add a keys variable. I'll set that equal to pygame.key.get underscore pressed. Okay, if my keys at index of pygame.key is right, if my right key is pressed, I will do something. I will let's see. My player underscore rect dot x-axis is gonna increase by my player underscore x underscore velocity if my keys at index of pygame.key is left. If my left key is pressed, my player underscore rect dot x axis is gonna decrease by my player underscore y axis underscore velocity. Lastly, if my keys at index of ball game dot key is space and my player underscore rect dot bottom is greater than my floor. Okay, is greater than my floor dot y-axis. I will do something. My player underscore y-axis velocity is going to be asterisk equals to -1. This should bounce it up, right? So first I gotta go with plus equals to let me blit my player real quick in the screen. I want to test this out. Let me go with graphics. Okay, I'll go with a screen dot blit. Let me blit something in my screen. Let's see. Let me drink some water real quick though. I'm thirsty. Alright, so I'll go with screen dot blit. I'll blit my player underscore image comma player underscore rect in my screen. I just want to test this out. If I jump, I can move. Okay. I can move friend. There should be one minus equals x-axis. There. Okay, so I do need to add a sequence pygame.image.load npc png convert alpha. Alright, so let me add my player underscore rect dot y-axis to increase by my player underscore y-axis velocity and delete that real quick. I forgot to add my, okay, no wonder I forgot to add my gravity and bounce. Okay, that comes before my player movement. Alright. For my gravity and bounce, currently my y-axis is set to 0, so my player's y-axis won't move. I gotta move it, so I'll go with my player underscore y-axis velocity. I'm gonna increase that by my player, actually by my gravity. There. Now to bounce. My player underscore y-axis underscore player underscore rect dot y-axis plus equals my gravity. Actually, player underscore y velocity. He just falls now. Alright, so my player movement, copy that. Get that behind this. Should work. Shouldn't work, honestly. I'm pretty sure there was a part where I had to go with asterisk equals. My player underscore rect plus equals to my player velocity. Okay, I needed an if statement here. Okay, I needed an if statement here. So if my player underscore rect dot y-axis is less than or equal to my floor dot y-axis, okay, then my player underscore rect dot y-axis equals to my floor dot y-axis. Now if I run the command, he still just falls. There's something that I might be doing wrong. Maybe I remove these. That wouldn't make a difference though, but still. I do get a tiny error. Syntax warning. Invalid escaping sequence B pygame.image.load. Did I load my image wrong? So which one's image is it? It's NPC's boss edit, so my enemy image. Okay. What's it called? PNG. Okay. I converted it to alpha. Oh, okay. 2 forward slashes. There. Alright, now if I run the command, he still kind of dips down. So it could be that I gotta change this to greater than or equal to. Hold up. He's hit and fall. And now, I gotta add this part. Copy that. Delete that. Go here, go there. Delete that to that. Now. Okay, it's just like he just spawns from the space down. He just falls down. So maybe if I copy that, that thing should now go under this. Like right here. Alright. Okay, my jump, I'm currently jumping. Wait, while I hold my space key, that is. Okay, that was me while I hold my space key. I remember there was an asterisk equals to -1. I forgot I need to create a variable called jump. Oh, got it. This is gonna be called jump. Or maybe lowercase jump equals to -10. Alright. Player's y-axis plus equals to my jump. And now. Okay, the player just goes to space. Alright, okay, there's some progress. There's some progress. Maybe I don't use my jump there. I use it. Where's the gun? Plus equals to jump. Control Z. Jump. Okay, my player does jump up, but he's kind of stiff. It is kind of stiff. Could be because of my player's position. Maybe the wall is on top of my player. The floor, I mean. Let me go ahead and blit my floor as well. I'll go with screen. Actually, pygame.draw.rect. I want the floor to be drawn on my screen, comma. The color to be, I forgot the RGB for brown. Let me check. Okay, the RGB for brown is 140, 70, 0. So 140, 70, and 0. And my attributes for my floor. That draws the floor. Okay, my player is right there. No wonder he can't go above it. So I just gotta increase my player's axes. Player rect is going to be located. Let's change this to 100. I forgot that's the x-axis. Change this to like 400. Cancel that. Terminate. Cancel that. Run that. My player is still stuck there. Okay, maybe that goes 300. That goes to like 100. My player is still kind of stuck under my floor. Okay, gravity logic looks correct. It's greater than my floor. Honestly, I might check the reference real quick. Okay, Hmm. Alright, so the I have a pygame.init, load images, transform my images, create rex, create mask, player velocity, NPC velocity, floor, enemy velocity, font, score. Okay, so I add my player movements. Ta-da. My player underscore vector bottom is greater than or equal to my floor. Okay, or equal to my floor y. Player underscore y velocity increases by jump strength. Okay, that was correct. And then I add my bounce. Copy that. Go there. Or let me paste this here. Dot y-axis. Okay, my bounce is going to be player underscore y-axis velocity. It's going to be greater than or equal to my floor y. Player underscore y-axis velocity. Okay, I knew it. I had to add a player underscore y velocity is going to be asterisk equals to negative zero point 0.8. Okay, my player is like uh okay, at least that part works. Automate NPCs, bounce NPCs, graphics. Okay, I think it's just my player position that's kind of wrong. Alright, so my player position is... Okay, it's 100 and 300. Did I do something different? Okay, my player position is kind of correct. For collision, the masks, either the masks, then player velocity, jump strength, okay, NPCs. Alright, for my floor, let's see. My floor Y is going to be uh if not game over, my okay, floor is going to be equal to pygame.rect. I did that exact same thing. Let me actually show you guys what I'm looking at. Look at my previous reference code to check where I messed up. Loose screen, okay, I did that. Game falls. If not game over, screen dot width, bounce gravity. Okay, so that's my bounce and my gravity. If player underscore reg dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor dot y, player underscore reg dot bottom equals to floor dot y. Okay, I did that. Automated my NPCs. Honestly, I feel like I kind of forgot to add a bottom here. Okay, it does make sense. I forgot to add the bottom here. Huh. If my player underscore rect dot bottom, so this is for my bounce and gravity here. Okay, if my player underscore rect dot bottom, oh, I used y-axis dot bottom is greater than or equal to floor dot y-axis, my player underscore rect dot bottom equals to floor dot y-axis. Okay. Huh. Then my player underscore velocity, okay, the basic stuff. This should change it. Okay, that was the mistake. I usually forget where to add the bottom, so why is my player just dangling here? What's going on? Okay, so I'm pretty sure I kind of messed up in my gravity in that case. So player underscore y underscore velocity plus equals to my gravity, player underscore rect underscore y axis plus equals to my player y velocity. Okay, that part's correct. Did I mess up in my keys? Keys, the pygame.key.get pressed. If keys at index of pygame.key is right, player underscore rect.x axis plus equals my player underscore velocity. Same thing for the left. If my keys at index of pygame keys space and player dot rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to my floor dot y. Okay. Oh, this. What? Why am I increasing? Okay, wait. My player underscore y velocity jump. Okay, that does like just have a bouncing motion. Doesn't like completely bounce. Hmm. Just curious. What if I were to like copy my old code? Go from the top. Okay, and then just copy it. Scroll to the bottom. There we go. Copy that. Go with Control A, Control V. Did it paste the whole thing in one line? Oh, you're joking. Okay, maybe a bunch of Control Z's. Okay, the Control Z's has a limit as well. I guess I'll have to manually write this whole thing. Alright, I added my keys. Next up, let's start at the graphics. I'll just take the code as a reference because I'm really exhausted, guys. I highly doubt I can like process anything else. Okay, let me go with bounce and gravity. Maybe drink some water. Actually check if I'm audible. Okay. Oh, perfect. For a second, I thought I wasn't audible. That would have been bad. Alright, so let me add my bounce and gravity, which is gonna be player underscore y underscore velocity, which is gonna be, it's gonna increase by my gravity. Okay, and then my player underscore rect dot y-axis, which is gonna increase by my player underscore y underscore velocity. Oh my god, guys, I seriously can't think. I'm way too exhausted. Okay, and then player underscore rect k dot y-axis plus equals to my player underscore y underscore velocity underscore velocity. There we go. Okay, excuse me, guys, and then let me add an if statement. If my, excuse me again, guys, if my player underscore rect underscore actually dot bottom. Okay, if my player underscore rect dot bottom is greater than or equal to my floor dot y-axis, I will do something. My player underscore rect dot bottom is going to be equal to my floor dot y-axis. Alright, and then I will reverse my players player underscore y-axis underscore velocity is going to be asterisk equals to negative 0.8. Okay, I just got to add my player graphics real quick. Let me just go ahead and add a graphics. Okay, for my graphics, I'll go with a screen.blitz, player underscore image, and player underscore rect. Let me go ahead and draw my floor as well. So pygame.draw.rect. So I want the surface to be my screen. I want the color to be. Oh, does it have like a brown option? Okay, I'll just use this for now. I'm real tired for using RGB. Then I'll use my floor. Alright, perfect. If I would run the command. Guys, does that look like brown? Syntax error. Okay, that's the exact same mistake that I did. Double slashes, there we go. Okay, let me just use the RGB for brown, which is 140, 70, and 0. So, a tuple, delete that, 140, 70, and 0. Now if I run the command, okay, I can move just forward because of course I did a lot of control Z's. I gotta change this to x-axis. There. Okay, I can't jump yet because I didn't add my jump movement. I did add one. Player underscore y-axis velocity increases. Okay, so my player underscore y-axis velocity equals to jump strength, honestly. Equals to jump. Alright, so I'll create a jump variable maybe here. So there we go. Equals to -10. Alright, that's a wrong variable name. Alright, perfect. Now if I were to jump, this should be y player underscore rect dot y-axis. Okay, so player underscore y-axis underscore velocity equals to jump strength. Okay, so this is y velocity, and then for the bounce, asterisk equals to zero point 0.8. Maybe it's because of that. It's not. Okay, automate NPCs. Hmm. Guys, I feel I'm way too exhausted to do this because I've been really busy these days. Okay, I wish that I could just copy the whole code to like actually see the reference before I just blindly type it all out. Okay, so if my keys at index of pygame.k is right, my pygame underscore rect dot x-axis increases by my x-axis velocity. If my keys at index of pygame.k is left, my player underscore rect dot x-axis decreases by my player's x-axis velocity. If my keys at index of pygame.k is space and my pygame underscore rect dot bottom it's less than or equal to. There we go. Guys, that was okay. At least I figured that out. At least I figured that part out. If I go with negative, this is gonna be the same thing. It's just gonna be a little better. Okay, this has the kind of bounce. I don't want the bounce, so I'll just go with positive. There we go. Okay, so if my keys at index of pygame.space, honestly, I feel like I can't think more than that right now. I know I usually like stop streaming at like 6 o'clock, but I might just stop a little early, like sooner today, because I do gotta study some of my college stuff right now. Tomorrow morning, I do have college and all that, so gotta get ready for that and then come and stream. So I think, let me go to my main camera. I honestly think that's it, and I wasn't in the center of the screen this whole time. Alright, so I honestly think that that's pretty much it for the stream. I didn't do much, but I did get a brief idea on gravities. Gravity was a pretty interesting topic. Next stream, I'm definitely going to be working more on this. That aside, if you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Like helps my algorithm, sharing makes you smile. Subscribing is like a cherry on top. And I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace.